What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
7RJ. Chapter 151. In the end, Sengoku, the Marine Marshal, couldn't stand it anymore, and had no choice but to do it again on Whitebeard. As an old opponent for many years, he knew the power of Whitebeard very well. Immediately, he did not hide his strength. He directly displayed his zone human fruit beast species Big Buddha form ability, incarnate into a huge Buddha. After turning into a big Buddha, he broke the ground with a punch. Junpei wanted to rescue Ace's passersby, and after that, another powerful, Buddhist impact, blasted towards Whitebeard. Whitebeard, you are one of the 5 dignified emperors, a man of the first generation. Is it worth it to be a mere junior? Sengoku asked sharply. Gu la 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 la, what's worth it? Sengoku, we are all old. Remember, this is not our time anymore, this is the age of the younger generation. Whitebeard said boldly. Shock fruit air shock. Whitebeard said. His free hand, clenched into a fist, hit the air with one punch. Boom. Suddenly, shock fruit exploded with unmatched power, shattering all the air around him. Akainu and others who wanted to take the opportunity to sneak attack on Whitebeard were also directly retreated. Immediately afterwards, Whitebeard raised the cloud cut in his hand and slashed towards the oncoming shock wave. This knife contained the powerful power of shock fruit, and it cut through the sky with a single knife, and the entire sky, like a mirror, was shattered one after another. Sengoku watched Whitebeard's desperate play, and his pupils couldn't help but shrink. However, at this moment, he is already riding a tiger and can only increase the power of the Buddha's impact. Boom. The knife gas collided with the impact, and suddenly, there was a violent explosion. A mushroom cloud rose into the sky. The entire Marin Vatican was shaking. Where the shock wave collided with the sword energy, everything, including buildings and people, was destroyed and wiped out. Wow. Is this the collision between the top combat power? It's amazing. Damn. Lousy used to think that his strength has reached the level of Whitebeard, Sengoku, etc. Now it seems that I overestimate myself. Damn, will a large area be wiped out in a single confrontation? This is too scary. People saw this scene through the screen, and it was even more shocking. The world of the strong is really not something they can easily reach. Just watching the battle makes them feel fearful from the bottom of their hearts. If such a blow fell on them, they might not even be left with scum. Although Whitebeard smashed the shock wave together, he also clearly felt his arm for a while, and the whole arm seemed to be unconscious, no longer his. Gu la 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 la, cool. But even so, in Whitebeard's heart, he only felt very comfortable. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At the moment of checkmate, how happy it is to be able to fight so heartily. Thinking of myself, I was on a boat before, hanging all over my body, and even drinking alcohol was restricted by my subordinates. What's the meaning of such a useless life, no matter how long I live? Might as well fight against a well-matched old enemy, and in the end, he died vigorously under his hands. This is what Whitebeard expects most. His full stop should not be painted in ease, but in the most vigorous. Ha ha ha, Roger, you must also be envious of my final destination. It's a pity, you can't choose your final way of death. For some reason, Whitebeard suddenly remembered the same age as himself, who was also an enemy and friend, and was called the Roger of One Piece. In the past, he was a little envious and jealous of Roger being crowned the Shanghai Pirate King. But now, he doesn't envy or jealous anymore. Because he understands that his destiny is at least 100 times better than Roger. He would rather die in a vigorous battle than die under the guillotine. What's getting old? I'm not old yet. Sengoku knew that Whitebeard would not last long. He did not stop attacking. Another Buddhist shock slammed Whitebeard. Again. Give it to Lousy. Seeing Sengoku repeat the old trick, Whitebeard didn't talk nonsense. He raised the Kong Yun in his hand and slashed it out with a domineering knife. Boom. The earth trembled and the waves rolled. In the air, the pitch-black cracks grew bigger and bigger. The ability of shock fruit was almost exploded to the extreme. Sengoku's incarnation of the Buddha's shock wave was once again shattered by the overbearing power of shock fruit. Wow. The huge recoil made Sengoku couldn't help but a sweet throat, and a mouthful of blood spewed out. On the other hand, Whitebeard was even more tragic. The shock wave that smashed the Buddha from the front caused him to hold Kong Yunchi's arm, his veins swelled, his skin split every inch, and his blood kept falling. Come. Fight again. This time, it was Whitebeard's turn to take the initiative. With a vigorous wave of Kong Yunchi in his hand, he slashed towards the Buddha in the air. Sengoku also had a headache seeing this scene, but there was no way. Retreat if you don't fight. It is impossible to retreat, then there is only a deadly battle. The two peak powerhouses were caught in a bitter battle. The walls and buildings of Molenvander are constantly breaking, and the waves are constantly surging. The sky, the earth, and the sea are full of fierce explosions everywhere. The momentum was so great that it completely concealed the fighting of other people around. Such a fierce battle immediately attracted everyone's attention. People in the fight, unconsciously, stopped the fight one after another. Looking at the two pinnacle powerhouses in astonishment. This scene can't be seen casually, ordinary people can't see it once in their lifetime. Only they were fortunate enough to witness this scene. Old Daddy. When the members of the Whitebeard pirates saw this, tears filled their eyes. They have vaguely felt what is going on. This is their father, trying his best to protect them. They only hate that they are not strong enough to participate in the battle. Marshal. When the Marines saw Marshal Sengoku fighting so fiercely, they did not have as much sentimentality as the members of the Whitebeard pirates, but they were also deeply infected and became excited one by one. Uncle Whitebeard. Dragon. Luffy was deeply moved when he saw this scene. After all, Whitebeard is so desperate to save his good brother Ace. Whitebeard, is this really necessary? Sengoku couldn't help but speak. At the end of Whitebeard Chongbo, he planned to work hard, but he didn't do it well. Chapter 152. Gu la 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 la. What, Sengoku, are you scared? Whitebeard laughed. Afraid? How could it be possible? Sengoku said stiffly. While talking, the big Buddha has already shot out with a palm. Snapped. The unmatched sword energy was shattered by the palm of the Buddha. Of course, Sengoku didn't feel good, he just felt the blood in his chest churning. This knife is not easy to pick up. Sengoku, this old world is already rotten, and the storm of the new world is about to come, don't you see it yet? You mean Ye Chen? Even if there is no Ye Chen, the new world storm will come. Ace, Luffy, which one of them, is not the meaning of this new era? Whitebeard knew that his own era was about to end. But he doesn't regret it, because he knows that the era of young people, the next generation of new stars, has come. Whether it is Ye Chen, Ace or Luffy, they are the hottest, most shining, and most dazzling new stars in this new era. To be a stepping stone for these rising stars, Whitebeard feels it is a great honor. This is him, this is Whitebeard, this is Edward Newgate. A new era. Oh, if there is really a storm coming and destroying this world, then the old man is willing to be the last guardian of this world. Sengoku snapped. Like Whitebeard, he was already enlightened. That is, defend the world. Never allow justice and be desecrated by pirates. Different road non-phase plan. Whitebeard sighed. At this moment, he finally understood. He and Sengoku have different ideas, and after all, they will not reach an agreement. Both of them are right. What is wrong is this era, world government. Whitebeard, die. In order to show respect to you, the old man will go all out. Buddha's impact Red Lotus Karma Fire. Sengoku growled. Since the Tao is different, there is no need to continue. Boom. A shock wave, the Red Lotus Karma Fire of Carrier Hell, blasted towards Whitebeard. Where the shock wave passed, everything was either shattered or burned to ashes by the fire of karma. Gu la la la. Sengoku, your kindness, I take it with my heart. It's just that you haven't seen enough of this trick. Whitebeard said boldly. Really, how about adding us? Akainu spoke suddenly. I don't know when, after being shaken back, he has rushed forward again. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Behind him, there are Aokiji and Kizaru. A marshal, +3 Marine Admiral, deal with a Whitebeard. It can be said that even if Whitebeard died in battle, it was worth it. It's almost the same. Whitebeard was very satisfied. Sengoku, and the three of you juniors, take my last move. Whitebeard called the three Akainu juniors, but none of them dared to refute. After all, when it comes to seniority, they are juniors. In terms of strength, they are also a little worse than Whitebeard. You know, the current Whitebeard is the old sick Whitebeard. It is hard to imagine how terrifying Whitebeard was in its heyday. The three of them work together, I'm afraid they will all have to suffer. Whitebeard spoke boldly, but didn't give the two Sengoku, Akainu and others a chance to speak. The supreme sharp knife in his hand was cut high into the air. Immediately afterwards, a scene that shocked the world appeared. Behind Whitebeard, the sea was rolling. The entire sea surface was stirred up unexpectedly. The sea is rolling, the air is breaking. The waves roared, and the tsunami rose into the sky. The ground under Whitebeard's feet was also cracked with terrifying cracks. From the beginning to the end, his people have not moved a bit. Just relying on the powerful aura that erupted from the body, it had already shattered the ground under the feet. Just when the Karma Red Lotus bombarded him, Whitebeard screamed, and Kong Yun cut and fell fiercely, heading forward, and fell fiercely. In an instant, the sea was roaring, and the world was falling apart. At this moment, Whitebeard seemed to be back to the top. The muscles on his body are swelling, and the veins are bursting. Rumble. In the distance, Marin Bando's tall and solid marine building was affected, and it collapsed, and turned into rubble. Raise the sky billowing dust. Everyone was shocked. Is this the strength of Whitebeard? Is the combat power at the peak? This is too scary. Relying on the momentum alone, the entire island is collapsing and annihilating. Nani. Sengoku was also shocked when he saw this scene. There is no way, he can only do his best to increase the impact of the Buddha and the power of the Red Lotus Karmic Fire. Suddenly, the huge Buddha was actually shattering every inch. Everyone could tell that Sengoku was pushing too hard. But even this is not enough. Boom. The impact of the Buddha, the Red Lotus Karmic Fire, was shattered by Whitebeard. Heaven dog. Burst the pheasant's mouth. Flash impact. Marine 3 Admiral also displayed their own housekeeping skills. Unfortunately, it is of no use. Facing Whitebeard's unmatched blow, everything looked so pale, so powerless. Too strong. It is too strong. Sengoku, Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru were all shocked. They were not able to stop them. They didn't understand, why could Whitebeard, who had been exhausted, still burst out with such a powerful strength? Is this really Whitebeard who is dying? They can't stop Whitebeard, and even if Garp and others are added, it won't help. In this world, no one can stop Whitebeard's blow. There is only one fate to meet Marin Vandor, and that is to be completely wiped out under the devastating blow of Whitebeard. Do not. Suddenly, a person's name appeared in Sengoku's mind. In the world, perhaps there is another person who can stop Whitebeard's full blow, and that person is Ye Chen. Snee. Who is saying bad things about me? On the Hades, Ye Chen, who was watching all this through the projection phone worm, sneezed. Seeing that Whitebeard's performance is so different from the original work, others may be puzzled, but Ye Chen knows this well. The reason why Whitebeard was so much stronger than the original is because he had died and was born. In other words, without the appearance of Ye Chen, Whitebeard could only see the extremely slim possibility of this old world being overthrown. Pinning his hopes on Luffy, who is still too young and even a little reckless, he is totally uneasy. It can be said that Whitebeard in the original book was still at a loss when he was on top of the war. He just wanted to do his best to save his son, Ace. Chapter 153. Partner news. But now Whitebeard is completely different. In Ye Chen, he sees hope. Although Ye Chen will not help the D clan to rejuvenate, it does not matter whether he helps or not. Isn't he not a D clan himself? After meeting Ye Chen, Whitebeard knew that Ye Chen would eventually overthrow this old world, and eventually overthrow the rotten and absurd rule of the world government. It can be said that the current Whitebeard is not lost in his heart. He knew that even if he was dead, hope was still there. Without worries, Whitebeard can naturally abandon everything, even the Whitebeard pirates. He knows that his sons will be able to take care of themselves. It is precisely because of this that Whitebeard can do his best to deliver the last extraordinary blow. Ye Chen is right. It is precisely because Whitebeard has abandoned everything and has no worries at all. Therefore, he can exert such extraordinary strength. Have you not been to Marin Vando? Ye Chen asked casually. Soon. The crew on the Pluto responded quickly. Marin Vando scene. Sengoku saw Whitebeard's devastating blow and met him. A terrible thought came into my mind. That's it. Malin Vando is over. Marine headquarters is over. Not only Sengoku, Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru, and even Garp, who pretends to have a stomachache, can't deal with it, but they also have this idea. Garp even regretted it a bit. Maybe he should have done it. As long as he makes a move and cooperates with Sengoku to take Whitebeard as soon as possible, it will not lead to such a situation. But now it is too late to say this. Just when everyone thought they were finished, suddenly people discovered that Whitebeard's attack had stopped. The aura of ruining the heavens and the earth disappeared without a trace in an instant. What's going on here? Sengoku looked at Whitebeard. Not only Sengoku, everyone's eyes fell on Whitebeard. At this moment, people discovered that Whitebeard had actually recovered the supreme knife and cut the clouds, and went still. Whitebeard held Kong Yunchi in his hand, closed his eyes, and stopped all his movements. He was standing like a giant. What's going on here? Why didn't you fight anymore? Is it? Everyone recovered almost instantly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In people's minds, there are already answers at this moment. The superstar of an era has fallen. Yes, without Ye Chen, only death caused by exhaustion of life can stop Whitebeard. It turned out that the abnormality just now was the last reflection in Whitebeard's life. At this moment, almost everyone on the island stopped fighting. Even Marine was stunned by the fall of the superstar who had been in a turbulent era. This is Whitebeard. This is the man known as the strongest man in the world. His fall heralded the end of an era and the opening of another new era. Perhaps his fall was not as shocking as the One Piece Roger brought to people, but it was still shocking. He is an epic-making person. Worth everyone's respect. Daddy. The crew of the Whitebeard pirate group stopped their movements and stopped fighting, tears streaming down their faces one after another. Whitebeard. Sengoku put away the Buddha and restored it to its original state. There are also Garp and Crane, 3 old men of the same age as Whitebeard, with extremely lonely expressions on their faces. Their opponent for most of their lives. Did Whitebeard just fall? This was originally a thing to be happy about, but why are they so melancholy? Even the marine soldiers were stunned at this moment. They didn't understand how Whitebeard's death would affect them, but they were just stunned. Perhaps this is a great person. Scared me to death. Everyone regrets the fall of a generation of heroes, Whitebeard, but there are also people who are gloating. Whitebeard is dead. Great. As soon as Whitebeard died, the Whitebeard pirates collapsed, and the captains were too young to succeed. Even so, you can't take it lightly. Just take the opportunity to kill the Whitebeard pirates. Well, it's time to use the power of our world government to let the world see how powerful our world government is. 0 Find Flowers 0. Yes, that's right, they are 5 elders. Pacifist, it's time to debut. Following the order of the broad knife 5 elders, the iron door of the building behind the execution platform slowly opened. These buildings, in Whitebeard's last devastating aura, did not fall apart. It can be seen that they have been reinforced. At this moment, the iron gate slowly opened, and countless pacifists, who were tall and identical in foreign trade, filed out. This is. The Empress Boa Hancock, who was standing next to Bartholomew Kuma, was shocked to see this scene. So many Bartholomew Kuma. These are secret weapons made by the world government based on my size and information pacifists. 0. Bartholomew Kuma said blankly. Although, Bartholomew Kuma volunteered to become the experimental subject of the world government. However, one thing made him very angry. The world government told him that the pacifists are still in the research stage, but now it seems that they have clearly reached the stage where they can be mass-produced. He was deceived. Of course, having said that, the reason why Basaro Shang voluntarily became the experimental subject of the world government actually had his own purpose. His true identity is actually a spy planted by the revolutionary army in the world government. In order to obtain more espionage, it is necessary to do so. Of course, these are all things to do. Kill them all. Following the cold and cruel order of 5 elders, the pacifists who just appeared on the stage immediately slew them. Bang, bow, boom. For a time, lasers shot in all directions, explosions, and screams, one after another. What is this? Help, what? With a scream, the members of the Whitebeard pirate group, under the siege of hundreds of pacifists, fell one after another. Is this a new weapon secretly researched by the world government? Damn it, they are all close to Bartholomew Kuma. Is the world government planning to drive us out of the Whitebeard pirates? The dozen or so captains of the Whitebeard pirate group shook with anger when they saw this scene. Force. Chapter 154. Without the daddy Whitebeard, with the strength of their dozen or so captains, there is no problem in protecting everyone from retreat. Of course, Ace may not be able to save it. But now, due to the emergence of pacifists, there is no possibility that they will even retreat. Obviously, world government, this is trying to kill them Whitebeard pirates. Yes, because of the top war, there is a full blend of 5 elders, so it is very different from the original book. Even the pacifist army has been sent out. It seems that this time the Whitebeard pirates are more ill-fortuned. Damn it. Brothers and sisters, come with me. Avenge for the old man and the dead brothers and sisters. Wait a minute, Joes, don't be impulsive. Alas, nothing. Brothers, let's go together. Marco, who originally wanted to stop Joe 207, could only lead his brothers and rushed forward when he saw it. For a while, the members of the Whitebeard pirate group fought with the pacifists. 5 elders thought that after a full 500 pacifists showed up, they would definitely shake everyone in the Whitebeard pirates who had lost the backbone of Whitebeard. Because 500 pacifists are equivalent to 500 Bartholomew Kuma. Well, maybe it's only 400. But the 400 Bartholomew Kuma, the combat power, is also quite terrifying, okay. But 5 elders were still wrong. They never expected that the members of the Whitebeard pirates were so spineless. Yes, the Whitebeard pirates may not be the most powerful pirates in the world previously, but now replaced by the Black Duck pirates, but they all inherited one thing from their father Whitebeard. That is backbone. Kill. The members of the Whitebeard pirate group, everyone's eyes are dyed red with hatred. Today, either you die or I die. Sengoku. Crane reminded Sengoku, who was still immersed in the loneliness of the fall of Whitebeard. Obviously, he wanted him to order all Marines to cooperate with the pacifists to encircle and suppress the Whitebeard pirates. However, Sengoku just shook his head slightly to Suru. It's no longer necessary. When Whitebeard died, the Whitebeard pirates actually existed in name only. For the Whitebeard pirates, Sengoku is different from the cruel 5 elders. He has no plans to kill them all. Besides, he just didn't order Marine to cooperate with the pacifists to encircle and suppress the Whitebeard pirates easily. The previous order still took effect. In other words, those Marine Admiral and Marine Lieutenant Generals who stopped because of the fall of Whitebeard, after recovering, if they want to join the Whitebeard pirate group, he will not stop them. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Everything is up to them to decide. Humph. Akainu may not have heard the conversation between Sengoku and Suru, but since Sengoku has not ordered the Whitebeard pirates, he already knows what Sengoku plans. Although he was dissatisfied with this, he did not say anything. Instead, he took a lot of his own cronies to join the siege. As for the 2 Admiral Aokiji and Kizaru, Aokiji, needless to say, he and Sengoku are actually the same kind of people, and they have the same idea, thinking that they have already severely damaged the Whitebeard pirates, there is no need to kill them all. As for Kizaru, he was originally a neutralist, and he was afraid of trouble, and if he could have less trouble, he would have less trouble. Therefore, he did not participate in the encirclement and suppression operations. As for the lieutenant generals and elite lieutenants, they have also made their own choices. Some main combat factions, such as Ghost Spider, Doberman and other Marine lieutenant generals, naturally joined this encirclement and suppression operation, while some moderate factions, such as Peach Rabbit and T-Dolphin, chose to stand idly by. Afterwards, even if the world government blamed it, they were not afraid. Isn't Marshal Marine Sengoku standing for them? However, even if there is a large number of Marines who choose to stand by, 500 pacifists, plus Akainu and others, to clean up the remaining members of the Whitebeard pirates, it is definitely more than enough. Although the Whitebeard pirate group is strong, it is really strong, but there are more than a dozen captains and their deputies. Only they have the strength to fight the pacifists. As for the ordinary crew, they are just a bit stronger than other pirates. How can they fight against pacifists? Even if they adopted a joint strategy, dozens of besieged a pacifist, but it only delayed the fate of being slaughtered 0, that's all. What's more, Akainu and other marines also got in. It can be said that the current Whitebeard pirate group is completely slaughtered. Everyone, Ace, who was still tied to the execution frame, saw the brothers and sisters who had loved each other fall down one by one, tears filled his eyes, and regretted in his heart. He knew that if it were not for him, his brothers and sisters would not have suffered such a sin. Ace, don't be sad, I will definitely save you, Luffy shouted. However, he is now entangled with several executioners, completely inseparable. But also because of his obstruction, the executioner had no time to execute Ace. Is this the new weapon pacifists secretly developed by the world government? So powerful, I didn't expect the world government to have such a background. It seems that the overall situation has been determined, and the Whitebeard pirates may have to die in Malin Vander. When the world saw this scene, while regretting the fate that the Whitebeard pirate group was about to face, they were also shocked by the strength of the pacifists. Is this the foundation of world government? No wonder, for so many years, no one has been able to overthrow the rule of the world government. Think about it, an army of 500 pacifists, which pirate regiment wants to eliminate is not easy. The Whitebeard pirates, when Whitebeard is there, maybe they can resist, but now. All people can see is the fate of the Whitebeard pirate group being wiped out. But, just as the Whitebeard pirate group and the pacifist army were fighting fiercely, a sudden change occurred. A shady scene suddenly enveloped the entire Marin Bando. What's the matter? Why has the sky darkened? Does the Whitebeard pirates have backup? Who is it that dare to support the Whitebeard pirates? Is it Red Hair pirates? Could it be the Black Crow pirates? By the way, it is very likely. It is said that Ye Chen and Whitebeard also have some friendship. People are speculating whether it is possible that the Black Crow pirates are here. Chapter 155. Dreaming. In this regard, Five Elders has realized quite calmly. Because according to their information, Ye Chen and his group, at the moment, in the calm belt on the west coast, are entangled by a large group of Sea Kings. Besides, they did not receive any information, saying that Ye Chen intends to engage in the top war. On the contrary, Ye Chen himself, inadvertently expressed his opponent's attitude several times, saying that he would not participate in this war. For this information, Five Elders has no doubts. After all, the world government has the largest intelligence agency in the world. What? Crocodile's Baroque Studio, compared to the intelligence agency of the world government, is a joke at all. The only CP organization that can rival the world government's intelligence agency is the Revolutionary Army's intelligence agency. Sure enough, just after Five Elders snorted, an evil laugh suddenly sounded. Thief, ha ha ha, it's finally my turn, Blackbeard is on the stage. So evil 09 with a hint of wretched laughter, anyone who listens to it will know that it is absolutely impossible to be Ye Chen. Blackbeard. Never heard of it, who is he? No, you don't even know Blackbeard Teach, who has recently risen to fame. He is a traitor to the Whitebeard pirates, Blackbeard Marshal D. Teach. The guys behind him are notorious pirates and important members of the Blackbeard pirates. It is said that he captured Ace and handed it over to Marine. I thought he was going to join the world government and Marine side by this. Now it seems that he might have another conspiracy. Conspiracy? What conspiracy? This guy, dare to make trouble under Marshal Sengoku's nose, for fear that he is not seeking his own death. Who knows what the conspiracy is? People are talking about this. But I have to say that the atmosphere of Blackbeard's appearance is indeed very good and has attracted the attention of people all over the world. Thief, ha ha ha. Blackbeard's evil laughter sounded in the darkness again. Sengoku, Five Elders, thank you for killing Whitebeard for me. Thanks to you, I was able to take Whitebeard's body so easily. Thief, ha ha ha. By this, people can be regarded as knowing what Blackbeard has conspired. It turned out that he used the hands of the world government and Marine to get rid of Whitebeard, and then took the opportunity to seize the body of Whitebeard. As for his intention to take Whitebeard's body, no one can guess. Just like the original book, Blackbeard took advantage of the fire and took advantage of everyone's incommunicable fights and seized the body of Whitebeard, intending to use Dark Fruit's special ability to devour the ability of Whitebeard Shock Fruit. In this way, his strength can be greatly increased in a short period of time. However, the idea is good, but the reality is a bit cruel. Just when everyone was in fear of Blackbeard's arrogant laughter. Boom. With a loud noise, the entire Malin Vander, the huge island, shook violently. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. And, what's wrong? People were completely confused by this twists and turns. That's it for the Moby Dick, after all, it was an order from Whitebeard. Now, there is another ship crashing into Malin Vatican. What's the matter? The feeling is that the Marine headquarters is completely ignored, and the tens of thousands of Marines are not in the eyes. The violent impact even penetrated the darkness directly. The shady, slowly dissipated. At this time, people could see that another huge ship, no smaller than the main ship of the Whitebeard pirates, the Moby Dick, crashed into Malin Vando. After the shady was gone, People could see clearly, isn't this the world-famous Pluto? The main ship of the Black Crow pirates. Wow, people were shocked. Also suddenly realized, since it was the Pluto that hit Marin Vando, there is nothing to fuss about. The Black Crow pirates, what should be here, after all, is here. As for the beginning, 5 elders, who vowed to believe that Ye Chen would never show up, at this moment, all of them turned pale. Impossible. Didn't the intelligence say that the Black Crow pirates are still in the Calm Belt area on the west coast? Yeah, didn't I say, Ye Chen won't get involved in this top war. Damn, what the hell is going on? Damn intelligence agency. It seems that the CP organization must also be rectified and rectified. Finally, 5 elders naturally pushed all the pots to the intelligence agency of the CP organization. Make them responsible for their mistakes. Impossible. In this regard, they are very similar to what Ugly Country did. But in fact, the CP organization can't really be blamed at all, their intelligence is also accurate. However, Ye Chen himself never expected that the system would temporarily release such a sign in task, and the time limit was only 3 hours. This made it impossible for him to land on Marin Vando even if he didn't want to be on top when the war broke out. After the Pluto collided with Marin Vando. Soon, someone got off the boat. Huh, it's finally here. It seems that we are still a step late. No, just right, it was Acedes who spoke first. She has been in this world for a while, and she has also heard of Whitebeard's prestigious name. Before that, in the image cast by the projection phone worm, it was inevitable that she was a little bit emotional when she saw his fall. The person who responded to her words was naturally Ye Chen. Yes, that's right, like the Mobile Dick, the one that crashed into Marine headquarters, Marin Vando, was not another ship, but the master ship of the Black Crow pirates, the Pluto. Ye Chen was calm about the fall of Whitebeard. Although the fall of Whitebeard is regrettable, Ye Chen has long known this result. Even, he had a better idea. Looting the territory of the Whitebeard pirates is nothing but the next strategy. Not as good as. It's just that, with the captains of the Whitebeard pirate group, their unyielding personalities, I'm afraid. It is for this consideration that Ye Chen deliberately asked the crew to slow down the speed of the Pluto. After Blackbeard came on stage, they reappeared. Poor Blackbeard, he was still proud of his conspiracy, but he never expected that he would become a pawn used by others. Ye Chen. Damn it, it's nothing more than being hit by the shady scene. Blackbeard doesn't want to care about Ye Chen. But when Ye Chen appeared on the stage, he robbed him of all the limelight and made people no longer pay attention to him, which made Blackbeard very angry. He originally planned to take advantage of the war to create something exciting, so that he can instantly become famous in the world. Chapter 156. Unexpectedly, Ye Chen's sudden arrival made Blackbeard's plan all come to nothing. Can he not be angry when the bamboo basket is empty? However, even if he shouted Ye Chen's name angrily, Ye Chen turned a blind eye and didn't pay attention to him at all. Instead, he walked past him. Isn't it just a jumping clown? Ye Chen really didn't pay attention to Blackbeard. Frankly speaking, for Ye Chen, Blackbeard can't even match Whitebeard with a finger. Being ignored by Ye Chen, Blackbeard was so angry that his chest almost exploded. Unfortunately, he was helpless. Ye Chen ignored the angry Blackbeard and walked straight to Marco. When he was almost in front of Marco, he motioned to Acedes and others to stay in place to wait for him, and he himself continued to walk towards Marco. Ye Chen. Marco, who was struggling with a pacifist, was surprised to see Ye Chen walking towards him. He doesn't remember that the old man had asked for foreign aid. Even Shanks, who personally expressed willingness to come and support, were rejected by their father Whitebeard. He didn't want to get involved with old friends because of the Whitebeard pirates' own war. Ye Chen just had a relationship with their dad. Will he come to support them? Or does he have another purpose? Marco was distracted for a while, and was immediately attacked by pacifists. 2 pacifists also took the opportunity to launch a sneak attack on him. It can be seen that the pacifists are indeed artificial intelligence, and their IQ is extremely high. Damn it. Marco quickly returned to the defense, but he parried a pacifist, but he could not parry the other 2 sneaking pacifists. Seeing Marco was about to suffer. At this time, Ye Chen shot. Splitting ice fist. Boom. Boom. Ye Chen shot too fast. No one could see what he shot, only 2 muffled noises were heard. Then, a scene of horror appeared. I saw 2 pacifists, suddenly frozen by the ice. Click, click. In the next moment, the 2 pacifists turned into ice slag and burst apart. Wow! Everyone was amazed. The strength of the pacifists is obvious to all. In between the 2 pacifists, I am afraid that only Ye Chen can do it in this world. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. No, Foil is even more dumbfounded by stare directly. His foil may not be a supreme sharp knife, but it is also a rare and famous knife. It takes a lot of effort to chop off these pacifists. It can be seen how hard the metal materials that make up these pacifists are. But Ye Chen was blasted into scum with a punch. This is too abnormal. Not only him, but the other captains of the Whitebeard pirates are the same. Only when you have played against the pacifists in person can you know how strong these guys are. At most they are a little weaker than the main body Bartholomew Kuma. But in Ye Chen's hands, they are so weak as ants. Yes, Acedes' moves are really powerful. When others were shocked by the power of Ye Chen was also feeling that Acids' moves were powerful. The reason why he knows Acids' moves is naturally thanks to the system's life card, which can share everything between the two parties. Acids, who was on the side, was moved inexplicably when he saw Ye Chen performing her moves. You know, she is the ruthless and cruel Ice Queen in Sniper Slayer. It seems that the life card not only shares everything on both sides, but also seems to have some minor effects on Acid's character. Bastard. Go on, get rid of him. 5 elders hiding in the dark saw it, how could it be tolerated? The grumpy blonde 5 elders immediately ordered all the pacifists to attack Ye Chen. Suddenly, countless pacifists gave up chasing after the defeated members of the Whitebeard pirate group, and instead launched an attack on Ye Chen. Be careful. Marco felt that Ye Chen had just gotten into trouble because he helped him, so he felt a little guilty. Seeing the pacifists attacked one after another, he couldn't help but kindly remind Ye Chen. Oh, just as I guessed, only one pacifist was sent to the Chambord Islands last time. It really was to preserve strength. To deal with the Whitebeard pirates. However, Ye Chen didn't panic at all when he saw hundreds of pacifists approaching him. What kind of trick can be used to instantly kill these annoying pacifists? Ye Chen searched in his mind to find out what tricks Acids has that can solve all pacifists in an instant. Yes, for example, Acid's second hidden ability, Ice Land Admiral Army, the first hidden ability is, Mokbo Timo, first creates a large number of ice cavalry, stores energy, and then release all the energy in one breath, forming a large-scale blizzard. But this trick will not only hurt the innocent. Moreover, it seems to be very mentally exhausting. Just when Ye Chen hesitated to use it, the cold voice of the system rang in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to host, sign in successfully. Reward. 8 Inner Gates Technique. With the sound of the system, Ye Chen's mind flashed. Immediately afterwards, he was already familiar with all the moves of the 8 Inner Gates Technique, and mastered them well. Naruto's 8 Inner Gates Technique. Interesting. Just use 8 Inner Gates Technique to get rid of these pacifists. These thoughts flashed through Ye Chen's mind. Then, when the pacifists attacked him, Ye Chen also launched a counterattack. Open the door, open. Shut the door, open. Shungman, open. Hurt the door, open. Zhao, Doman, open. Jingmun, open. Almost in an instant, Ye Chen opened the 6th gate. If Might Guy sees this, I'm afraid they will be stunned. He himself opened one door after another. You shit, he opened 6 doors at once. Isn't it afraid that the body cannot withstand the sudden surge of energy and will explode and die? Of course, Ye Chen doesn't worry about this. He is quite confident about his strength and physique. What happened? What the hell is the substantial energy that burst out of him? The people who saw this scene were all stunned. They can even see with the naked eye that Ye Chen's body burst out with a huge amount of energy. Because this energy is too strong, it even condenses into entities. As this the 8 Inner Gates Technique. It's really powerful. In this regard, Ye Chen is also very satisfied. Chapter 157. At the same time, hundreds of pacifists, under the instigation of 5 elders, also rushed towards Ye Chen. Suddenly, Ye Chen was wrapped in it, forming an airtight ball of people. Ye Chen, die to me. Blonde 5 elders roared. It's not that easy to make me die. Ye Chen's voice suddenly sounded inside the ball. Toward the peacock. With a roar, a dazzling light suddenly burst out of the human ball, and even the body of the pacifist was bright red. Boom. With a muffled sound, all the pacifists were pushed away by a powerful wave of air, and then, a fire peacock full of flames rose into the air. Like a phoenix dance for 9 days. Look at everyone. The pacifists who were pushed away by the air wave reacted extremely quickly, and immediately assembled again and rushed towards the fire peacock. Wow. At this moment, the fire peacock uttered a cry. Immediately afterwards, I saw its huge flame wings, and immediately, countless fireballs burst out. Boom, boom, boom. The fireball hit the pacifist, and a big explosion occurred in an instant. The tremendous power of the explosion directly destroyed hundreds of pacifists. Wow, everyone was in an uproar again. This is too strong. Hundreds of pacifists were all turned to ashes in an instant. At this moment, people looking at Ye Chen's eyes are like looking at a monster, looking at the devil. There are still people in this world who can be so powerful. How can it be? This is not the power that should exist in this world. Sengoku on the high platform was also shocked. There are Garp, Suru, and Aokiji and Kizaru. They had predicted that Ye Chen would grow up very quickly, but they didn't expect that in a short period of time, he would have grown to such a level. Too frightening. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Let him grow for another year and a half, wouldn't the whole world be overthrown by him? Is this the power of Chao Peacock? Not bad. Ye Chen is also very satisfied with this. Don't look at this time, the rewards of the system seem to be not as good as the previous rewards. What Ryūjin Jakka, Ulquiorra, Acids, but don't forget, the peacock is just a move of the 6th gate in 8 Inner Gates. Behind, there are the Tiger of the Day, the Elephant of the Evening, and the ultimate meaning of the 8 Inner Gates technique, Guy Knight. Chao Peacock is already so powerful, naturally let alone the following moves. Especially Ye Guy, who has completely entered the realm of God. After solving hundreds of pacifists, Ye Chen's gaze returned to Marco again. Marco, discuss one thing with you. Since your daddy Whitebeard has already sacrificed, why not? Your Whitebeard pirates will belong to the Black Crow pirates from now on. Ye Chen didn't talk nonsense, and directly stated his purpose. What did you say? Marco was still in shock, but after hearing Ye Chen's words, he instantly reacted. So this is your real purpose. I knew it. Don't be delusional. We, the Whitebeard pirate group, can be killed in battle, but we will never succumb to other pirate groups. Marco said hardly. The few captains next to him who happened to hear Ye Chen's words also nodded after hearing the words. Said that their Whitebeard pirate group can be killed, but they will definitely not be attached to other pirate groups and become the pirate group of other pirate groups. Even this pirate group is the Black Crow pirate group. Have a backbone. Ye Chen expressed his appreciation for this. But, do you really plan to let all the members die here, and remove the Whitebeard pirates from this world? Without our help from the Black Duck pirates, you would definitely not be able to get from so many pacifists. Survived in the hands. Without giving Marco a chance to speak, Ye Chen continued. Besides, it doesn't matter if you died in battle, but you really want to watch your father's body be snatched and humiliated by the fellow Blackbeard. Quote. Also, what is the purpose of you coming here desperately to start the top war? Isn't it to save your brother, your family, Ace? Don't expect that the Straw Hat Boy Luffy can save Ace. Open your eyes and see, what is Akainu doing now? You think he, a guy with high self-esteem, will allow you to save Ace under his nose? Go. I can't guarantee others, but I'm sure Akainu, he will kill your brother, Ace, for his so-called justice. On this point, Ye Chen didn't talk nonsense. Just now, after Luffy successfully eliminated several executioners, he was ready to save Ace. Seeing this, Akainu decisively left the members of the Whitebeard pirate group and headed for the execution platform. As Marine Admiral, he bears the name of Justice. How could he allow the pirates to be rescued from the Marine headquarters and those to be executed? Absolutely not. After a pause, Ye Chen continued. If you want to take back your father's body and rescue Ace, only our Black Crow pirates can do it. If you want to solve these hundreds of pacifists and save all of you, only our Black Crow pirates can do it. Wake up. Do you have to die completely worthless, or you have to inherit your father's will to live? Only by living, you have the opportunity to take revenge. Ye Chen's words can be said to be in the hearts of all the members of the Whitebeard pirate group. Indeed, they can die vigorously, and they can also die rather than belong to other pirate groups. But, they are really willing to watch the corpse of the old father Whitebeard, snatched by the enemy Blackbeard. Are they still humiliated by him? No, absolutely not. Besides, this time, they all mobilized and ran to Marine headquarters, Marine Vatican, and launched a war on top. Isn't there only one purpose? That is, save Ace's life. If Ace died at the hands of Akainu, what is the point of what they did? If they can't save Ace, wouldn't they have let down the dead father? No, these things must not be allowed to happen. For a time, the hearts of many members of the Whitebeard pirate group were shaken. Marco, Izo, dressed as a beautiful young woman in a kimono, couldn't help but speak to Marco. No, Marco was still hesitant. Chapter 158. Partner news. If their dignified Whitebeard pirates group is attached to the Black Crow pirates and become the pirates of the Black Crow pirates, wouldn't it be laughable? How can this work? However, when he saw that Akainu had rushed to the execution platform and knocked Luffy down with a punch, he walked straight towards Ace. His face also changed drastically. Although Luffy has great potential, he hasn't grown up now after all. With his strength, it is not a problem to solve a few executioners. But to deal with Akainu, it is to hit the egg, stone. Marco knew that if he stopped making a decision, then Ace would really die by Akainu. Not only on the execution platform, but Ace is in danger. Blackbeard, who took Whitebeard's body, is in danger. After seeing Ye Chen's attack on Kamui, he assumes that he does not have the ability to swallow shock fruit. He is absolutely beat. But Ye Chen's. So, Blackbeard has already begun to retreat. He planned to take Whitebeard's body directly, wait to go to a safe place, and then slowly devour Whitebeard's shock fruit ability. At that time, as long as they swallow the ability of shock fruit, which is known as the strongest superpower system, Blackbeard will not believe it. He dark fruit and shock fruit teamed up, and he can't beat a Ye Chen. Seeing that Ace's life is in danger, and his most respected father, the body is stolen by his enemy Blackbeard, in desperation, Marco can only make his decision. Marco, make a decision. No matter what the decision is, we will support you. Foil Beasta spoke up. Yes. Diamond Joe's also spoke. It's the same with us. Almost all members of the Whitebeard pirate group spoke up. You all. At this moment, Marco once again felt the weight of his burden. As the captain of the first team, the decision he made determined the survival of the entire Whitebeard pirates. He can't let all his brothers and sisters be buried here because of his own misfortune. Okay, Ye Chen, I promise you. However, we, the Whitebeard pirates, are only attached to the Black Crow pirates. We still have the right to be independent in terms of the site and various operations. Marco said. This is his final benefit for the Whitebeard pirates. He didn't want the Whitebeard pirates to completely become the Black Crow pirates. Of course. Ye Chen immediately agreed. The Black Crow Pirates group, not anyone can enter it casually. The dozen or so captains of the Whitebeard pirate group are indeed good, but at the same time, there are also a large group of waste. If all of them become members of the Black Crow pirate group, Ye Chen would not do it himself. The Whitebeard pirate group is affiliated to the Black Crow pirate group and became the pirate group under the Black Crow pirate group, but it remains relatively independent. Only when Ye Chen needs them, such as launching a general attack on the world government, they will respond to the call without hesitation and assist the Black Crow pirates. That's enough. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Of course, after becoming a pirate group under the Black Crow pirates, the Black Crow pirates will provide shelter for the Whitebeard pirates. Correspondingly, they will offer some gold, silver, jewelry, treasures, etc. every month. Of course. Marco did not expect that Ye Chen promised to be so fast and so clean. He originally thought that after Ye Chen proposed to let the Whitebeard pirates belong to the Black Crow pirates, the next step was to slowly engulf them Whitebeard pirates, including sites, members and resources. Therefore, Marco resisted so much at the beginning to become attached to the Black Crow pirates. But now it seems that Ye Chen doesn't seem to have this plan. At this point, I have to say that Marco's pattern is still not as big as Ye Chen. The Whitebeard pirates have all belonged to the Black Crow pirates, so aren't the chassis, members and resources of the Whitebeard pirates equivalent to the Black Crow pirates? Is it necessary to embezzle or not to embezzle? Of course, if you are the kind of dictator, you must completely embezzle, so that you don't have to worry about the Whitebeard pirates one day betraying. But Ye Chen asked himself that he would not treat the Whitebeard pirates badly, so he didn't worry that the Whitebeard pirates would betray him. Besides, the Whitebeard pirates are all affectionate and righteous people like Ace and Marco. Ye Chen also believes that they will not betray themselves easily. Since the Whitebeard pirates has agreed to join the Black Crow pirates, Ye Chen naturally did not continue to stand by. Gario, Doflamingo, Luo, you three are responsible for assisting the Whitebeard pirates and dealing with the pacifists. Acids, you go to stop the Blackbeard pirates, and you must take back the body of Whitebeard. 0 Find flowers 0. As for Ulquiorra, Akainu will leave it to you. Remember, don't let Ace have any accidents. Yes. After Ye Chen ordered to play, Ulquiorra and others responded with a yes, and then dispersed to perform what Ye Chen explained. As for Ye Chen, he can actually watch good shows, but he wants to find out those old guys hiding in the dark. Yes, just now the blonde 5 elders couldn't help but yelled, and it happened to be heard by Ye Chen. He knew that 5 elders was also on the scene. Therefore, he didn't mind pulling out these 5 old guys and teaching them a lesson. 0. Seeing Ye Chen's gaze searching around, the blonde 5 elders was shocked. After he yelled, he heard Ye Chen's response and thought it was just a coincidence. It now appears that this is not the case. If Ye Chen were to find them, wouldn't they be in danger? No, let's leave this dangerous place quickly. The saint is right. You lieutenants, cover us to leave. Yes, don't look at 5 elders, one by one, standing high and frightening. But in reality, they were not strong in the outside world, and when they saw Ye Chen searching for their tracks, they were all shocked. They quickly left the scene quietly under the cover of several powerful lieutenants. Ye Chen searched to no avail and had to give up. Of course, he was not idle while searching. The pacifists have eliminated hundreds of them, and the Whitebeard pirates have eliminated 20 or 30, and there are more than 300. Even with the addition of Galio, Doflamingo and Luo, it is still a bit difficult to deal with. No way, Ye Chen could only help them casually. Lianhua. Bang bang bang. There was a stir, and several pacifists were directly kicked by Ye Chen. Justice Punch. Magic Shield. Colorful Lines. One Sword Flow. Cut Off Troubles. Li. Chapter 159. Partner News. Galio, Doflamingo, Luo and others also performed very well. Together with Marco, who became the Phoenix, and Jose, who became a Diamond, they also eliminated many pacifists in a short period of time. Among the three, Ye Chen is most satisfied with Luo's progress. This guy, after comprehending the one sword flow and breaking the shackles last time, this time, he has realized a new move, the one sword flow and breaking the troubles. It's so powerful, but enough to cut the pacifist in half with one knife, that's enough. As for Acids and Ulquiorra, Ye Chen is not too worried. After all, both of them have the strength of a Sea Emperor. Acids originally didn't have it, but because of the Ye Chen's life card, her strength can now be said to completely surpass Ulquiorra and become the Black Crow Pirates. Except for Ye Chen, the most powerful existence is 201. Moreover, if Ye Chen handed his Ryūjin Jakka to Acids, she could directly perform powerful moves such as Fire Rejection and Heat Hell. It can be seen how amazing the life card is. In fact, Acids did not live up to Ye Chen. She dealt with Blackbeard and his companions alone, and instead of having no pressure at all, she forced Blackbeard and others to retreat. Anyone who saw this scene was shocked. What is this? When did the members of the Black Crow Pirates group have such a strong one? Blackbeard's strength, because he has been hiding it, may not be known to many people. But as the captain of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, Ace is well known for his strength. Since Blackbeard can defeat Ace, it can be seen that his strength is definitely not trivial, at least the strength of the Sea Emperor. But now, he is such a sea emperor, and his companions who are comparable to admiral's strength are actually being crushed and beaten by seeds alone. It also, for a while, people didn't know what to say to describe their inner shock. Is the Ice Queen Seeds too strong, or Blackbeard and his party are too weak? In this regard, Blackbeard is also miserable. He originally thought that with his strength, the people present were also afraid of Ye Chen, as well as the two old guys Sengoku and Garp. If he can absorb the ability of Whitebeard shock fruit smoothly, then he will only be afraid of Ye Chen alone. Unexpectedly, one of Ye Chen's companions could have such strength, and with his hand icing ability, they would be beaten to a halt. What kind of monsters are the members of the Black Crow pirate group? Secret Point Road. In desperation, Blackbeard roared, his hands turned into dark ghost claws, and grabbed a seeds of Kamui. He wanted to use the special effects of dark fruit to nullify all the fruit abilities he touched, so that a seeds could not perform the ice move. However, he was wrong. A seeds is not Aokiji. Her ice ability comes from the imperial equipment of ice on her body, not devil fruit. Snapped. Blackbeard's hand wrapped in darkness touched a seeds' arm. The next second, he was stunned. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. You are not capable. What do you say? A seeds made an ice blade and cut to Blackbeard's hand. Blackbeard was so frightened that he let go of his hand and jumped away. Don't look at his bloated figure, 3 times taller than a normal person, but he is a flexible fat man. However, this is only the beginning. Then, the good show was officially staged. Moko Bottom. There was a clear and delicate chick. Then, Blackbeard felt that the entire time and space around him seemed to be frozen. His movements became very slow, as if they had stopped. However, the most frightening thing is that his thinking is still so clear. Go to hell. A seeds condensed an ice gun and pierced Blackbeard. However, at this moment, there was a cruel sneer on Blackbeard's face. Something is wrong. For some reason, the air behind a seed seemed to move. This is absolutely impossible in the frozen time and space, but it still happened. A long transparent knife pierced a seed's heart directly. Seeing, it will succeed. The bug trick, look for death. At this moment, a seeds let out a cold snort. Suddenly, he backed his carbine and stabbed the ice spear behind him. Pouch. Splashing blood. Sprinkle to the sky 0. Because time and space are frozen, the blood stays in the air. This scene looks so strange and so beautiful. Someone. Why didn't I see anyone? Everyone was dumbfounded. A seed's freezing of time and space has opened their eyes and felt incredible. Unexpectedly, there are people who can sneak attack a seeds in stealth when time and space are frozen. Impossible. Shiryu of Rain spouted blood, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He is already invisible, why is a seed still able to spot him? At the same time, because of the injury, the figure of Shiryu of Rain gradually appeared, and a huge hole was directly pierced by the ice gun in his chest. But even so, Shiryu's strength is not enough to kill him. When Blackbeard saw this scene, the smile on his face was also frozen. Damn it, can't even Shiryu's sneak attack work. So how do they deal with this terrible monster? Puff. A seeds pulled out the ice gun, and as soon as it was pulled out, Shiryu of Rain became transparent again. This guy, I don't know if it is because of the transparent fruit ability, or if he can ignore the freezing of time and space, he can still move freely. Only this time, he did not dare to attack a seeds again, but chose to retreat. Damn it, unkind guy. After seeing Shiryu of Rain invisible, Blackbeard didn't attack a seeds again, knowing that he had escaped, and almost died of anger. In the frozen time and space, a seeds can feel any movement of the air around him, but if Shiryu of the Rain does not come to trouble her after being transparent, then she has nothing to do with him. No way, a seeds can only turn his gaze back on Blackbeard again. Suddenly, cold sweat oozes out on Blackbeard's forehead. No way, if this continues, people will die sooner or later. Blackbeard could see that a seeds didn't want her appearance to be so weak, she could be said to be the same kind of people as him, they were extremely cruel and ruthless. She would kill him just like killing an ant, without any hesitation at all. Chapter 160. Go to hell. Blackbeard was right. A seeds didn't hesitate, and stabbed Blackbeard with a shot. Wait, stop. Blackbeard was scared and screamed. Unfortunately, it was useless at all, and the spear in a seeds' hand was still handed out. Finally, at the most difficult moment, Blackbeard can be said to be pushed out of the limit, and he can move. Don't you just want Whitebeard's body? Take it, lousy don't want it. Although Blackbeard's actions were very slow, he could already throw Whitebeard's body out. In order to save his life, he can only do this. After losing the shock fruit ability, he can look for other fruit abilities to make up for it. But if your life is lost, there is nothing to make up for. Blackbeard still knew this simple truth. So, even if he couldn't bear it anymore, Blackbeard threw Whitebeard's body away. A seeds remembered Ye Chen's words in his heart, knowing that Whitebeard's body could not have any accidents. At the moment, she quickly wrapped Whitebeard's body with the power of ice, causing him to slowly fall to the ground. All this was done in one go, and it only took a very short time. Afterwards, the O9 spear in the hands of a seeds pierced Blackbeard again. Want to escape? No way. Ace Desi's cold and merciless voice sounded. No. Blackbeard was almost freaked out. How powerful is this woman, and how quickly did she react? Seeing that the spear was about to pierce Blackbeard's chest, at this moment, the frozen time finally resumed circulation. Blackbeard's actions were quickened immediately. However, this is not enough. He's fast, a seed's ice gun is faster. Pouch. The ice gun pierced Blackbeard's chest directly. Blackbeard's face turned pale suddenly. Wow, everyone was shocked. Everyone could tell that the shot of a seeds took Blackbeard's heart directly. Once the heart is pierced and then frozen by the extremely deep cold ice, then even Blackbeard's ability to heaven-defying can't escape the fate of death. However, Blackbeard is lucky. At the last juncture, time thaw. At the most dangerous juncture, he slightly avoided the piercing part of the ice gun, thus avoiding his heart from being pierced by the ice gun. But the chest was pierced by the ice gun, which was uncomfortable. Snapped. Blackbeard's ghost claws grabbed the ice gun. Ace Daisy immediately released a chill, and instantly froze Blackbeard's ghost claws. However, the ice cannot freeze Dark Fruit's abilities. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Click. Just as the ice followed his arm and froze all the way up, Blackbeard violently broke the ice gun. However, what is the use of breaking the ice gun? The ice gun is just a condensation of cold. After being broken, a brand new ice gun is immediately assembled. Humph. A seeds let out a cold snort and shot again. The ice gun in his hand was stabbed out mercilessly again. Damn, is Lousy going to die? Is Lousy going to end here? Is my life going to be accounted for here? Lousy is not reconciled. At this moment, the unwillingness in Blackbeard's heart, he forbore Ed for so many years, and finally acquired the Dark Fruit's ability, given the opportunity to make a comeback, is he going to die here? But now, he is seriously injured, and there is nothing he can do about it. It can only be said that the trick of a seeds' Mokobottom is really abnormal. Freeze time and space. In this time, who will be her opponent? Had it not been for Shiryu of the Rain, he had delayed for a while, now he would have all his ashes up. Just when Blackbeard felt desperate, his body suddenly began to become transparent. It turned out that Shiryu of Rain didn't really run away, he just hid away and waited for an opportunity to take action. Seeing that Blackbeard was worried about his life, Shiryu of Rain had no choice but to risk his life to save Blackbeard. The ability of Transparent Fruit can make everything he touches transparent. Therefore, he only needs to touch Blackbeard to make Blackbeard transparent. Puff. The ice gun stabbed empty. Blackbeard also disappeared into the air. Cut. A seeds was so angry that she gritted her silver teeth, but she currently has no good way to deal with Shiryu, who is invisible. But, a seed's gaze fell on Blackbeard's companion, Poison Q and others. Since you can't take the lives of Blackbeard, use yours instead. Hey, beauty, if you have something to say. Ah, Du Q suddenly paled in shock, coughing constantly. He is just a frail ship doctor. Humph. Ace Day didn't bother to talk nonsense with this sick tuber, and stabbed it with an ice gun. Wherever the cold passes, even the air is frozen. Seeing, the chill was about to freeze the Poison Q and others, and the Poison Q and others were at stake, but at this moment, darkness struck again. Teach. Don't talk nonsense, hurry up. Yes. Every member of the Blackbeard pirate group is a wicked person. Although Blackbeard is nominally the captain, in reality, no one is convinced. The Blackbeard pirates also has a rule, whoever is strong can be the captain. Therefore, Blackbeard can temporarily serve as the captain. But unlike other pirate groups, members of the Blackbeard pirate group call Teach by their first name, and no one calls him the captain. At this moment, after hearing Teach's words, Poison Q and others, wherever they dared to stay anymore, took advantage of the darkness to cover up, smearing the soles of their feet, and slipping away. Seeing, it was about to succeed, but as a result, it was messed up by the darkness. For a while, Acedes was also very angry. Broken. With a loud shout, a strong chill erupted from the ice gun. Chill, frozen the darkness unexpectedly. Crackle. The spear directly shattered the darkness, turning the darkness into fragments, and the pieces dissipated. Wow, people were shocked again. Sengoku, Garp and others on the high platform almost couldn't sit still. Isn't it? This Acedes is so powerful. They still have a lot of information about Acedes, the Queen of Ice, and they always feel that she only has the strength of Admiral. But now it seems that this is not the case at all. She actually possesses even stronger strength than the Sea Emperor. How can that be? Is the information wrong, or is it that she has improved to such a terrible level in a short period of time? If the information is wrong, it's better to say. If it's the latter, then it's scary to think about it. Sengoku and Garp glanced at each other, and the meaning in their eyes was self-evident. Chapter 161. The darkness dissipated. It's a pity that Blackbeard and his party disappeared. They escaped under the nose of Acedes. Also, if they don't have this capability, they wouldn't dare to trespass Marine headquarters, Marine Vatican during the war, didn't they? Otherwise, just Sengoku and Garp, two old brands of Marine, are enough for them to drink a pot. Can't run away. Acedes became angry, and the chill dissipated. In an instant, he sensed the direction in which Blackbeard and his party were escaping. Whoosh! She turned into a cold light and chased up. In this regard, Ye Chen did not stop. It's time for Blackbeard, the jumping clown, to feel hopeless. Of course, although Ye Chen didn't stop him, he still sent a message to Seeds through mutual affection. That is, it is enough to chase and kill, there is no need to take personal risks. After all, a clown like Blackbeard will have a chance to kill in the future. The reason why Ye Chen delivered such a message to Seeds was not because of his soft-heartedness or the virgin. He just didn't want Seeds to be in any danger. After all, this cunning fox, Blackbeard, must have a backhand. If you hunt down Blackbeard's base camp, it is estimated that with Seeds alone, you may not be able to deal with the entire Blackbeard pirate group. Okay. Seeds also silently responded to Ye Chen in his heart. Shows that she has a sense of measure. On Seeds' side, he went after Blackbeard. As for the other side, Ulquiorra also played hard with Akainu. Kizaru, you are sure not to help Akainu. Aokiji saw Akainu and Ulquiorra, who was transformed, was defeated steadily, and couldn't help but speak to Kizaru. Hey, Aokiji, what are you talking about? I want to help you, I'm not going to die. I almost died in the hands of that big devil last time to save him. By the way, Aokiji, what's the matter with you? You still care about Akainu? Kizaru said it was incredible. Caring about him. How could it be possible? Aokiji said proudly. How could he let people know his true inner thoughts? Just. After hesitating, Aokiji continued to speak. Kizaru, don't you think that Akainu's performance is somewhat abnormal? Aokiji opened his mouth. Abnormal? No, Akainu, hasn't it always been this way? He has always regarded himself as the incarnation of righteous, and no evil pirate can be tolerated in his eyes. What's happening? Kizaru said locally. Nothing. I hope it's my illusion. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Aokiji murmured. Although he noticed Akainu's abnormality, it was impossible for him to help Akainu if he was arrogant. Unless Sengoku ordered it. However, Sengoku's performance is also a little abnormal. He didn't seem to intend to kill the Whitebeard pirates, so after 5 elders ordered an army of pacifists to destroy the Whitebeard pirates, he didn't give any more orders to Marine. What the current Marines do is determined by themselves. It depends on their respective inner ideas. If they are the main battle group, such as Akainu, Huo Shao Shan, etc., they will naturally take action against the Whitebeard pirate group without mercy. If it is moderate, such as Peach Rabbit and T-Dolphin, they choose to stand by. What Sengoku did, 5 elders was naturally in his eyes. However, if Sengoku did not issue an order, they could not do anything about it. After all, although Sengoku is their subordinate, they have no direct jurisdiction over Sengoku. For Marine Marshal Sengoku, there is only one person who has direct jurisdiction, and that is the Commander-in-Chief of the world government, Gangbone Kong. Boom. There was a loud noise. Ulquiorra, who became the Great Demon King, had a head-on collision with Akainu. The entire Marin Vando shuddered because of this. Psionic energy and flames exploded in the air. The huge air wave even overturned Marine and the pirates who were fighting fiercely 100 meters away. Be careful. Oops. Because of Ulquiorra's help, Ace's Luffy was successfully rescued, but was accidentally overturned by the blast. Now Luffy, even Haki hasn't learned it. Almost not being exploded by the powerful energy, she fainted. Haha, not bad. Ulquiorra flapped the huge demon wings behind him, staring at Akainu and said. This man, although he had beaten once last time, he realized that this time he seemed to be very different. There seemed to be a kind of will in his eyes. By the way, this kind of will is decisive. For decisiveness, Ulquiorra knows better than anyone else. Only a person who completely cuts off his back will have this will. Last time, Akainu had already lost his way. Although later, at a critical juncture, he was saved by Kizaru. But this time, his resolute will became more firm. You are not bad. It's a pity that you are not the opponent I want. Akainu said coldly. His cloak and carelessness were completely shattered in this violent collision. At this moment, his chest is bare, and the straps on his body are clearly visible. From the strap wrapped around his chest, you can see how much damage Ulquiorra caused him last time. But even so, Akainu still has no fear of Ulquiorra. Even, because the opponent is not the one he expected, and a little disappointed. Do you think I am not qualified to be your opponent? Ulquiorra's face suddenly became cold when he heard the words. Yes, Akainu deserves to be a real man. Facing such a threat from the great demon king Ulquiorra, he dared to respond so straightforwardly. I will make you regret what you said. When Ulquiorra heard this, he was immediately furious. Black Sero. The black flashes burst out instantly. At this moment, the psychic is violent. Rumble. In the place where Ulquiorra and Akainu were fighting, the buildings continued to collapse because they couldn't bear the tyrannical energy. Even the earth was cracked with tears. The entire Marin Vatican, the huge island, was shaking. This scene is so shocking. At the beginning, Ulquiorra performed this trick on the sea, and it has not been so shocking. But this time, when this trick was displayed on the island, people only knew how terrifying the power of this trick was. This energy is definitely enough to destroy a small and medium-sized island. Good job. Akainu knew how terrifying this pitch-black energy ball was, and he did not continue to hide it, but directly burst out his full strength. Meteor. Volcano. Chapter 162. With a roar, the earth spouted fierce molten slurry. Not only that, in the sky, one huge magma fist, like a flow, blasted towards the ground. This is one of Akainu's most powerful moves. It is enough to smash a huge pirate ship with all his strength. Rumble. Boom. The molten fist collided with the black Sero, and the energy continued to erupt. The earth is constantly cracking. The molten lava swept past like a wave, and countless marines and pirates who had no time to escape were turned into ashes by the molten lava. The huge high temperature also evaporates the moisture in the air instantly. The building even started to ignite spontaneously. Even if it is the end of the world, I am afraid it is nothing more than that. People were all dumbfounded. Is this a duel of the peak powers? Is this the Ulquiorra? Is this Marine 3 Admiral Akainu? Powerful. It's too powerful. They probably won't be able to match their heights in their entire lives, right? Take it. Akainu roared. His molten fist was covered with a fierce armament Haki. Steel skin. Ulquiorra's fist is also covered with a layer of hard steel, which is no weaker than armament Haki. Boom. The two fists collided in the air. Suddenly, the volcano erupted. The whole Marin Vando sank. The sea in the distance was also affected, the waves rolled, and the tsunami roared. Shocking. Bang. The sudden explosion encased Ulquiorra and Akainu. The flames skyrocketed and the smoke billowed. A roller cloud rose up into the sky. Isn't it? Did the two of you die together? For a while, people were shocked. But in the next second, a dark figure flew out from the flames. It turned out to be Ulquiorra. His whole body was scorched, and the clothes on his body still contained flames and molten lava. He still can't hide his handsomeness. And Akainu walked out of the raging fire. His whole body was burning with flames, and half of his body was turned into molten slurry. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This scene is comparable to the inside of the Terminator. T-80's face is blown up, but it still comes out. It's so shocking. Ulquiorra is downwind. Who knows? In the presence, perhaps only Ye Chen, who has been watching this scene, knows it. Sure enough, there is something wrong with Akainu. Aokiji once again vaguely felt that something bad would happen. Yes, it can push me to this point. Even Ulquiorra has to admit that Akainu is the most powerful opponent he has ever encountered. Of course, it refers to after being called into this world. Next, I'm going to be serious. Ulquiorra said. Feelings, he hasn't been serious just now. When people heard this, they couldn't help taking a breath. Without being serious, there is such a terrifying strength. If you really take it seriously, then you have to. Humph. Akainu snorted coldly. He already knew that Ulquiorra would say so. Unfortunately, his current mind is not on Ulquiorra's body. If he wants to challenge, he must challenge the strongest. At the scene, the strongest person is not Ulquiorra, but Ye Chen. Yes, Akainu wants to challenge Ye Chen. I don't want to do it with you, stop it. Akainu said. Unless, you don't want the two of them to survive. You can stop me, and you have the ability to kill me, but if I decide to kill both of them, you must not be able to stop them. The molten slurry will kill them in an instant. Akainu said coldly. In his words, they naturally refer to Luffy and Ace who are surrounded by magma. It turns out that at the beginning, Akainu showed off the meteor volcano, and the magma that erupted from the ground was actually a foreshadowing. Not to deal with Ulquiorra, but to trap Luffy and Ace, and then threaten Ulquiorra with their lives. What do you want? If it were the former Ulquiorra, it would naturally be impossible to care about the lives of two human beings. But because Ye Chen explained to him before, that Luffy and Ace should not be surprised, so Ulquiorra is now afraid. Akainu is right. He does have the ability to kill him, but he is also capable of letting magma swallow Luffy and Ace before he kills him. This can't work. Such a thing must never happen. I said, the person I want to challenge is not you, but him. Ye Chen, accept my challenge. Don't you dare. Akainu roared. He did not hide his thoughts in the slightest. Because he felt unnecessary. At the same time, the remaining flames of Akainu's body gradually burned the bandage wrapped around his chest, revealing his strong chest. And, the tattoos on the chest and arms on the left. That is a cluster of roses blooming proudly. The heart has the tigers, fine sniffing the rose. This is Akainu. He is a fierce tiger, but he also has a delicate heart. However, everyone only remembers his tough style and unsmiling style. No one has ever known that he is the real one. I will kill you and save them both. Ulquiorra heard Akainu challenge directly like his master Ye Chen, and couldn't help but speak. Although, he still doesn't want to liberate Duan Edge, but if forced to do so, he still doesn't mind showing it. As long as he liberates the second Duan Edge, he can save Luffy and Ace while killing Akainu in seconds. This is completely achievable. Wait a minute, Ulquiorra. However, at this moment, Ye Chen spoke up. Of course, he is not incapable. New Ulquiorra has that ability. While killing Akainu in seconds, he rescued Luffy and Ace. However, since Akainu personally challenged himself, Ye Chen was idle anyway, he didn't mind being Akainu's opponent. It's just that, Akainu, you have to be enlightened. Let me be your opponent, you might be dead. When the last word, dead, was blurted out, everyone was shocked. No one has ever dared to threaten Marine Admiral so much. Especially Akainu, the head of the three admiral. Ye Chen is definitely the first in history. The old man has long realized. But it is also possible that the person who dies will die you. Akainu hard airway. Ha ha ha. Well, with your words, I accept your challenge. Ye Chen finds it more and more interesting. It seems that Akainu is definitely not a person who is afraid of death. Chapter 163. Partner News. Do it. Akainu obviously didn't want to talk nonsense with Ye Chen, so he greeted Ye Chen with a mind dog. The magma fist turned into a dog's head, barking wildly at Ye Chen. The terrifying high temperature instantly squeezed out the moisture in the air, causing Ye Chen's clothes to emit white smoke repeatedly, and he felt like he would spontaneously ignite at any time. It's just right. Just give it a try, the power of my newly learned moves. Ye Chen said, performing the 8 inner gates technique again. This time, Ye Chen opened the 7th gate in one go. Shock the door open. After opening the shocking door, Ye Chen's aura has experienced a fierce skyrocket. His strength is skyrocketing with multiple horrors. Ye Chen's strength is already terrifying, and now it has skyrocketed several times in an instant. It is hard to imagine how powerful he is now. Broken. With a loud shout, Ye Chen punched the magma dog's head that was swooping. Bang! The magma dog's head was directly exploded by a punch, and countless magma turned into a rain of fire and fell from the sky. What? It's hot. Many Marines who were too late to escape were caught in the rain and shouted in pain. But Ye Chen was in the fire and rain, but he was calm and unhurried. A layer of Reiatsu was enveloped on his body, keeping all the rain of fire out. So powerful. Upon seeing this, Akainu had to admit that Ye Chen was indeed strong. He openly challenged Ye Chen, he was indeed reckless. But for justice, he felt he had to do this. There must be someone who justifies justice. And Kizaru, who is hungry, and Aokiji, who is soft-hearted, are obviously not suitable. Only he can justify justice. For the righteousness, in my heart, what a pity even if I die. Spitfire. Akainu roared. His entire arm turned into molten lava, forming a huge magma fist. The lava fist was launched with the impact of the volcanic eruption. This time, Ye Chen counseled. He didn't meet him head-on, but chose to escape. Of course, this is what others think. In fact, Ye Chen escaped, just to avoid hurting the innocent, to save Luffy and Ace. This magma fist of Akainu is very powerful. When he opened the 7th gate, he was sure to destroy it, but the consequences would be to involve Luffy and Ace who were still near the execution platform. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Neither of them has grown up yet, especially Luffy, who hasn't even learned Conqueror's Haki. They are very likely to die in the spread of this battle. Therefore, in order to save their lives, Ye Chen had to save them. Of course, I did this not because Ye Chen was kind, but because the Whitebeard Pirates group belonged to the Black Crow Pirates. After all, Ye Chen promised that as long as the Whitebeard Pirates belong to the Black Crow Pirates, he will promise to save Ace's life. As for the protagonist, Luffy, it was just a handy rescue. Whoosh! Ye Chen came to Luffy and Ace very quickly. The surrounding magma was forced to separate under the influence of the light blue Reiatsu wrapped in Ye Chen's body. Therefore, in the eyes of others, it is as if the magma has spirituality. When they see Ye Chen, the king, they evade a path. Ye Chen easily rescued Luffy and Ace, and threw them to a safe place like a chicken, one in each hand. After doing all this, Ye Chen turned around and faced Akainu again. And the huge magma fist, under the control of Akainu, is naturally in hot pursuit, chasing Ye Chen all the way. As a result, it caused unnecessary turmoil. Wherever the magma fist passed, everything was burned down, and buildings collapsed. Be careful. Marco waited for several captains, felt threatened, and quickly reminded the members of the Whitebeard pirate group to avoid this huge molten fist, so as not to be accidentally injured. Several captains reminded and protected the members of the Whitebeard pirate group. Fortunately, they all avoided the magma fist in time. But those pacifists are not so lucky. They only knew to obey the order and hunt down the members of the Whitebeard pirate group, and they didn't have the slightest heart to guard against the coming danger. Therefore, when a huge magma fist passed nearby, several pacifists were instantly swallowed by the rolling magma, without even having a chance to struggle. They were melted by the terrifying high temperature, exposing the structure of the steel skeleton, and then, the steel also melted. Zero find flowers zero. Almost in an instant, a few pacifists turned into a pool of molten iron. Seeing this scene, people were shocked. They know that Marine 3 Admiral, 1 by 1, is extraordinary. But I never thought that Akainu was so powerful. This strength, even if compared to the Emperor of the Sea, is nothing more than surpassing. Such a terrifying magma fist, they couldn't resist asking themselves. Even the Emperor of the Sea can only avoid his edge and dare not confront it head-on. Thinking of this, people can't help but worry about Ye Chen. However, when others were worried about him, Ye Chen himself was indifferent to the oncoming magma fist. 0. Yes, it seems that you have made rapid progress in the past half-month, Akainu. Even Ye Chen still has time to talk nonsense. What is he doing? If you don't run away or fight back, are you waiting for death? This Ye Chen is very strong, but also too arrogant. He's done. At this moment, these thoughts came to people's hearts one after another. It's near. Closer. Seeing, the magma fist was about to hit Ye Chen, instantly evaporating him. At this time, Ye Chen finally moved. Day Tiger. A lot of energy burst out from Ye Chen. Ye Chen can feel that the energy of every cell in the body is consumed and drained. Is this how 8 inner gates consumes vitality in exchange for powerful power? But all this is worth it. In an instant, the powerful energy condensed into a white tiger. White tiger. Roar. After the white tiger uttered a terrifying roar, he rushed towards the magma fist. Bang. The magma fist and the white tiger collided together. The two seemed to froze. It's just that Akainu's face is solemn, but Ye Chen's mouth is slightly raised. It's not over yet. Ye Chen slammed hard, Baihu suddenly opened his blood basin and sucked all the surrounding air into his mouth. The air was constantly compressed again in Baihu's mouth. Finally, power. Chapter 164. Partner news. Bo. The compressed air suddenly spread. Huge energy surging out. Form a circle, continue to spread. Wherever the energy spreads, everything is turned into ashes. Not good. Akainu felt something was wrong, and quickly withdrew his magma fist, trying to escape. However, although his reaction was quick, he was still a step slower after all. The rapidly spreading energy circle instantly enveloped him. Immediately after, boom, a huge explosion sounded, and a huge mushroom cloud rose into the sky. The entire Marin Fandor even sank directly. Everything is a long story, but in fact it happened in a short moment. After the explosion was over and the black smoke dissipated, people saw that at the most central part of the entire Malin Vatican, the ground was directly exploded into a huge deep pit, at least thousands of meters in diameter. What a terrifying power. People were shocked by the power of the so-called Day Tiger. No wonder, Ye Chen is so calm in the face of a huge magma fist. It turns out that he has a backhand. Even Ulquiorra, looking at the scene before him, fell into deep contemplation. Is it Day Tiger? This force is so powerful that it is even more powerful than his black Sero. Therefore, Ulquiorra admires Ye Chen even more. As expected of a man who can be his master. Cough. Cough cough. Wow. Several coughs sounded, and people realized that Akainu was not dead. He was only seriously injured, one couldn't hold back it, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. But even so, he is still alive. Damn Ye Chen, how strong are you? How many backups have you left? Akainu gritted his teeth. His question also asked the doubts in the hearts of everyone present. Whether it is Sengoku, Garp, Crane, or 5 elders, Kizaru, Aokiji, or even a member of the Whitebeard pirate group, at this moment, I am very curious about how strong Ye Chen is and how many backers he has left. It seems that every time I see him, he has reached the peak. But every time he fights, he can break through the limit and perform unexpected horror moves. As a result, Akainu believed that he had made the right decision to challenge Ye Chen. This guy's growth rate is too fast, and, unlike them, these people, when they reach this level of strength, are already close to the bottleneck, and it is difficult to break through. Therefore, the 3 of them, Admiral, 4 emperors previously, and each other, can do nothing with each other. But by the way, a variable like Ye Chen appeared. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This guy, there seems to be no bottleneck in strength, and there seems to be no limit to the growth space. He will always become stronger and stronger. With such a terrifying existence, how could Akainu let him continue to grow? You must kill him before he fully grows up. Thinking of this, Akainu's momentum changed drastically. Can you burn your life and gain powerful power? Who won't? Akainu is worthy of being Akainu. At a glance, it is obvious that Ye Chen's 8 inner gates technique is so powerful at the cost of consuming life force. However, before the dead door was opened, the consumption of vitality was minimal, and it could be completely made up for after recuperating. Of course, after opening the dead door, it consumes a lot of life force, which is hard to say. Not to mention, after the 8 gates are all opened, the ultimate secret of 8 inner gates is displayed, and that is really at the cost of burning lives. When Akainu saw Ye Chen, he clearly had the upper hand, so desperately. How could he not give up his life? Fire burns. Akainu roared. Every inch of skin on the body began to burn violently. He is actually using his own cells as fuel to ignite the cells and explode the potential hidden in the body. Akainu is desperate. Success. Akainu punched Ye Chen towards Ye Chen. The magma is rolling, and the power is also very terrifying. Ye Chen wrapped his fist in armament Haki and greeted him with a punch. Boom. One red and one black, with 2 fists touching in the air. Suddenly, great energy burst out. The ground under the feet of the 2 of them was cracking every inch. It can be seen that the collision between the fist and the fist is so powerful. People just stared blankly. However, this is only the beginning. Whoosh. After the 2 fists collided, they immediately separated 0. Turned into a red figure, a black figure, entangled together again. Bang bang bang. The speed at which the 2 played against each other was so fast. It's dizzying. Even in the eyes of those who are not strong enough, they only see 2 white shadows, one red and one black, constantly colliding and separating. The only thing they can see most intuitively is the red and black dots. Every time they collide, the ground around them will crack and everything around them will be destroyed. After Whitebeard's uproar, Malin Vando was broken. Now, Being so engaged by Akainu and Ye Chen is even more fragmented. Originally, Marine Headquarters, Vander, which was so prosperous, powerful, and so advanced in technology, had completely fallen into ruins at this moment. This is the war on top. This is the great disaster brought about by the war on the top. Bang! Red and black collide again. Boom! The Marine Headquarters building also collapsed in this collision. Damn it, they are too messy. 5 elders, hiding in the Marine Headquarters building, fortunately escaped quickly, otherwise, they would have to be buried in the rubble. They were very angry about this. Sengoku, what are you doing? Haven't sent all the elites to deal with Ye Chen, this damn bastard. And Garp, don't you pretend to be sick. The 5 elders roared at Sengoku through the phone worm, with a very bad tone. They hope that Sengoku will order all the elites in Marine Headquarters to mobilize all the elites in Marine Headquarters to deal with Ye Chen, and must cooperate with Akainu to wipe out Ye Chen, the damn bastard, at Marine Headquarters Vander. However, Sengoku remained indifferent and even hung up their phone mercilessly. After the fall of Whitebeard and 5 elders dispatched an army of pacifists, his mentality changed dramatically. He had already decided on his plan after the war. He quit. The world government is so dirty and nasty, and he, the Marine Headquarters Marshal, is so useless. Not only does he have to take orders from 5 elders, but he also has to wipe Celestial Dragon's ass like a dog. Such a Marine Headquarters Marshal, no matter what it is. Chapter 165. Partner News. At this moment, Sengoku understood why Garp had always preferred to stay in the position of Lieutenant General rather than Admiral, and even less willing to be the Marine Headquarters Marshal, because Garp knew very well that he would not suffer this squandering. The reason why he has stayed firmly in the Marine Headquarters is just for the righteousness in his heart. If it hadn't been for the justice in his heart, with Garp's character, I'm afraid that he would have parted ways with Marine a long time ago. Someone must turn the tide in this increasingly degraded and corrupt world so that it will not collapse so quickly. And this person is Garp. But now Sengoku feels that with its attempt to save this hopeless old world, it is better to destroy it and rebuild a new world. The heart is determined. How could Sengoku order all Marine elites to deal with Ye Chen? Besides, he and even Ye Chen's strength, taking a picture of an under-strength lieutenant general in an attempt to fight against him, is nothing more than an increase in casualties. It is impossible to win 09 Ye Chen at all. Besides, Sengoku strongly disagrees with Akainu's philosophy, but there is one thing that he still admires Akainu. That is, he knew that since Akainu offered to fight Ye Chen, he never thought about asking others to help. If someone helps Akainu at this time, it will only annoy him. Moreover, seeing the extraordinary power erupted by Akainu, who can guarantee that he will not be able to take down Ye Chen? After all, he is the strongest presence in Marine Headquarters. Compared to him and Garp, these two old men, they are not much more conceited. Meteor. Volcano. There was another roar. Countless magma spewed out of the earth suddenly, and huge magma fists fell from the air. Compared with the previous dealing with Ulquiorra, at this moment, the meteor volcano that ignites the cell and erupts is no less than 10 times more powerful. The magma fists smashed from the air are just like meteorites. Run. Even Marine and the pirate who had already killed the Red Eye were afraid to continue the fight after seeing this battle, and immediately stopped with a tacit understanding, and then each jumped in different directions. If you want to survive this meteor fire Yamanaka, you have to flee quickly. Those who flee slower will die here. Both Marine and the pirate understand this truth, but the pacifists don't. When they saw the members of the Whitebeard pirate group retreating, they naturally chased them. As a result, the members of the Whitebeard pirate group were once again in crisis. Captains such as Marco, Joes, and Beast are powerful, but they can save one person, but they can't save everyone. Seeing that tragedy was about to happen, fortunately, Ulquiorra took the shot. Although Ye Chen didn't give the order, since the Whitebeard pirates had already belonged to the Black Crow pirates, Ulquiorra would naturally not stand by. Buzzing. Ulquiorra flapped the huge demon wings behind him, moving at high speed, and unexpectedly split into a dozen clones. Stop the entangled pacifists for the Whitebeard pirates. In this way, the members of the Whitebeard pirate group are also considered saved. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. And Ulquiorra, in the form of a homecoming blade, even if it has to deal with a large group of pacifists, it is easy to avoid magma fists falling in the air at all times. Don't worry about it at all. Almost everyone retreated, even Doflamingo and Luo retreated temporarily. On the field, apart from the pacifists who are not afraid of death, and Ulquiorra and Galio against them, there are only Ye Chen and Akainu who are fighting fiercely. Day Tiger. Faced with Akainu's big move, Meteor Volcano, Ye Chen didn't dare to be careless, and immediately displayed, Day Tiger, again. Before seeing the tiger, hear the sound first. Just heard the tiger roar in the mountains and forests, and the white tiger, several stories high, appeared again. Roar. With a slap, the white tiger smashed a fist of magma falling from the sky, and then rushed towards Akainu. The magma erupting from the earth, seemingly conscious, gathered together to form a huge magma three-headed dog in an attempt to stop the white tiger. However, Baihu bit his head off. The terrifying high temperature even ignited the energy body of white tiger. Let the white tiger burn violently. The white tiger has turned into a flame white tiger. Tear. The white tiger tore open the billowing magma, braved the raging fire, and rushed towards Akainu. Great dog. When Akainu saw the white tiger rushing forward, he did not evade, but gritted his teeth and blasted towards the white tiger. The fist turned into billowing magma, and the magma turned into a huge dog's head. Boom. The dog's head collided with the flame white tiger. The white tiger was smashed by Akainu's punch. Ha ha ha, interesting. When Ye Chen saw this, instead of shocking, he was excited. The stronger the opponent, the more interesting he finds it. He was not when he first arrived, and his strength only looked at him at the admiral level. His current strength has surpassed that of the Sea Emperor, and there are even many hidden moves that he has never had the opportunity to display. Now, how can he not be excited when he meets such a powerful enemy Akainu? To use a popular saying now, that is how lonely is invincible. Laugh as much as you want, I will bury you myself. Akainu said coldly without expression. He was almost covered in flames and magma. Only, the tattoo on his body became more conspicuous among the flames and magma. The stunning rose seems to be in full bloom. As this Akainu Sakazuki. So cold and ruthless. People have also been infected by Akainu's aura. People, especially those who watched this live broadcast of the war on the screen, are mostly pirates, and they hate Akainu, admiral, who kills pirates. But at this moment, seeing Akainu's state, they seem to be able to understand why Akainu did this. Justice has always been a great price. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right. But so what? How many people are willing to believe in the justice in their hearts? In the eyes of the pirates, he is a great villain, but in the eyes of Marine and some innocent civilians, the vicious pirate has never been a great villain. Right and wrong, are often just different positions. Really, bury me, do you have that strength? Ye Chen heard that, instead of anger, he felt excited. He knew that Akainu was in a state. Akainu will be desperate just to defeat him. And this is exactly what Ye Chen expected. Bring it on. Surrounding everything, all to ashes. Ryūjin Jakka. Foot cut. Ye Chen pulled out Ryūjin Jakka for the first time when the seventh gate was open, and displayed Ryūjin Jakka's first pose, chop. Chapter 166. Whoosh. The sword energy slashed towards Akainu in a thunderous manner. Great dog. Akainu performed the same move again. The fist collided with the sword energy. Finally, the three heads of the three-headed magma dog were chopped off by the sword chi, and the sword chi was also shattered by the fist. This is the battle between the peak powers. Come again. Torch. Ye Chen put the knife into the sheath, and the moment he drew the knife, the tornado-shaped inflammation wall wrapped the sword gas and cut it towards Akainu. As long as this move hits the enemy, it will disappear only if the enemy is turned into ashes. This knife is either life or death. Akainu also saw the horror of this knife. This time, he didn't dare to fight head-on, so he could only avoid his sharp edge. Magma hell. With a roar, countless magma burst out from the ground, forming a pillar of fire that soared to the sky, sweeping towards the sword energy. This trick is too familiar. Isn't this the pirated version of the hot hell that Ye Chen once used? Moreover, the guy Akainu didn't even bother to change the name of his moves, so he named him Magma Hell. However, it is only natural that Akainu can imitate the trick of heating hell. After all, they are all moves related to flames. Of course, it is impossible for Akainu to be as strong as Ye Chen. Therefore, Ye Chen can summon dozens of pillars of fire in one breath, but Akainu only summoned one. However, Akainu condensed, but magma pillars. The temperature alone is thousands of degrees higher than the flame, and the power is naturally not to be underestimated. When the sword gas fell into the magma pillar, it looked like a mud cow entered the sea, completely swallowed by magma. Only Akainu and Ye Chen know that everything is not that simple. Bah, see. A stream of black smoke billowed out. The magma pillars are constantly cracking. Songming's trick is not its power, but its immortality. Even if it was not a person, but a magma pillar, this sword gas would completely destroy it before it dissipated. Shit. Finally, under the continuous disintegration of the sword energy, the magma pillars that reached the sky suddenly burst and completely disintegrated. Akainu, your copycat version of Magma Hell doesn't seem to be enough to see backquote. Ye Chen said. He didn't care about the fire rain caused by the bursting of the magma pillars by his side. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shut up, Ye Chen. Akainu regarded this as Ye Chen's provocation and said angrily. The cells in his body are burning faster and faster, and Akainu knows that he must fight quickly. Otherwise, the death of the cell will take his life. Ye Chen, take my last move. Hell Gurren. With a roar, flames on Akainu's body suddenly rose to the sky. The rose is in full bloom. Akainu turned into a tiger. The magma spewed out of the earth converged continuously by his side. The entire Marin Vatican was almost reduced to a sea of flames. The members of Marine and the Whitebeard pirate group fled to the ship before Malin Vander was completely reduced to a sea of flames. Even Sengoku and Garp insisted on staying and watched the last old man. They were dragged onto the warship by Tautu and others. The only people who dared to stay on Marin Vando, apart from the pacifists who only knew to obey orders and had no concept of death, were only Galio and Ulquiorra. But even the two of them didn't dare to stay on the ground full of magma. They all have wings, and it's easy to fly in the air. And those pacifists, worthy of being made at a high price, are equipped with jetpacks on their backs. Except for a small number of pacifists who were engulfed by magma at the beginning, the other pacifists relied on jetpacks to fight with Galio and Ulquiorra in the air. The two of them will be fine, right? Luo and Doflamingo had retreated back to the Hades, and Luo couldn't help but ask with concern. Although, he still saw Doflamingo not pleasing to the eye, but Doflamingo has spent more time in the Black Crow Pirates after all, and he knows more. Don't worry, they are all monsters. We just need to take care of ourselves, we don't have to worry about them at all. In this regard, Doflamingo still knows himself. His strength is really good, but compared to Ye Chen, he is not worth mentioning. Even the weakest Galio can sling him. Oh, Luo Wenyan nodded silently. It seemed that the strength of each member of the Black Crow Pirate group was indeed far beyond his expectations. He originally thought that the Black Crow Pirates group was only powerful Ye Chen. Now it seems that whether it is Ulquiorra, Acedes, or even Galio, the strength is quite terrifying. It's not expensive, why would Doflamingo call them monsters? Marin Bando. The magma is gathering, and a huge hell-red lotus is forming. But look carefully, the appearance of this hell-red lotus is somewhat similar to the rose flower. Also, no one has seen the real hell-red lotus, and who knows what it looks like. Perhaps it is more like a rose flower than a lotus flower. And the rose flower is exactly the product of Akainu's will. The heart has the tigers, fine sniffing the rose. Akainu, a fierce tiger, at this moment, for the will of his heart, he has no hesitation, and decided that even if he ignites all the cells in his body, he must take down Ye Chen. This is his, justice. No evil is allowed in this world. The pirate is the source of evil. Ye Chen is a pirate, then, he must die. Finally, the hell-red lotus bloomed. Boom. The magma is like ocean waves, tumbling endlessly. The heat rose to the sky. The whole sky was reflected in the red. The sea is evaporating in large quantities. This scene is like the end of the world. It's like hell again. Ye Chen is still standing on the ground, beside him, surrounded by magma. But where he was standing, magma evaded one after another, leaving a space of about 1 meter or so. This is the Reiatsu emanating from Ye Chen's body, forming an invisible protective shield to withstand the magma. Looking around, the huge hell-red lotus is already in full bloom. Ye Chen knows that this trick is not a joke. Akainu is arguing with him about his life, how can he not take it seriously? The 8th gate, Death Gate, open. In an instant, Ye Chen had already made a decision. He knew that he couldn't fight Akainu just by opening the 7th gate, so he decisively opened the last gate of the 8 inner gates, the Dead Gate. Boom. Just opening the dead door, the whole earth trembled at it. Chapter 167. Malin Vander, as the island where Marine's headquarters is located, can't be too small. In fact, it is a large island. But the current Marin Vatican is like a flat boat on the vast sea, floating in the sea, trembling endlessly. This is an island. However, even if it was a large island, it seemed so fragile and insignificant after Ye Chen opened the 8th gate and burst out with more than 10 times the power. Boom. Boom. Malin Fando is falling. In this regard, Akainu turned a deaf ear. He has already put life and death out of the question, his only obsession now is to defeat Ye Chen. Ye Chen, die, hell-red lotus, burn everything in the world. Accompanied by Akainu's last roar, hell-red lotus, instantly, soared into the sky. The flame burned the whole world. The sea was frantically rolling, boiling. Even if it was the end of the world, it would probably be the case. Wow, people were shocked when they saw the red lotus from hell soaring into the sky. This is the first of Marine 3 Admiral. Is this Akainu? Billowing magma rushed to Ye Chen frantically. The dark red magma is hot enough to burn everything. This is probably hell. However, Ye Chen was in this hell, but he didn't panic at all. Facing the billowing magma, he just smiled coldly, and then slammed his punch to the ground. Fist wrapped in light blue Haki. Reiatsu. Chakra. Or, it was just pure energy that hit the ground fiercely. Boom. The earth cracked every inch. Every inch of land is falling apart. Shenxiang. Ye Chen shouted hoarsely. Accompanied by Ye Chen's hoarse cry, an elephant foot trampled down from the top of the cloud. The elephant foot is so huge, the entire Malin Vander is covered under the elephant foot. Wow, what the hell is this? Fruit power. Zone. Ancient species, mammoth. It is possible to know that Jack the Drow, the original owner of elephant fruit, ancient species, and mammoth was killed by Ye Chen. F***ku shit, Lord Ye Chen has never been demon fruit power. Then how to explain such a huge elephant foot? I can only say that this is not the power that this world should have. Isn't there a power in this world that shouldn't exist? This is too strong. Everyone just felt a tingling scalp. Especially at the scene, people who saw this scene with their own eyes. They were even more stunned by this scene. It's like an elephant foot on a large island, which is too scary. At first, they felt that the hell-red lotus that Akainu burned cells and displayed desperately was enough to shock people. But I never expected that Ye Chen's, Shenxiang, trick was even more shocking. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hell-red lotus rising to the sky. From the clouds trampled down like feet. This scene shocked everyone on the scene. People can't help but think of whether the Marine versus Rock's pirate was so intense and exciting. Of course, all this, Garp, who has been silent, can tell them the truth. That is, no, Rock's pirate is indeed strong, but there are too many internal conflicts. There was no way to stay together at all. Marine even used the contradiction between them to easily dismantle them. In that war, how can Akainu ignite the cell and fight against Ye Chen? Seeing this scene, the three veteran Marines, Sengoku, Garp and Crane, couldn't help but glance at each other. The meaning in their eyes is self-evident. They are the same as Whitebeard after all, they are old. Akainu, dare to find me one-on-one, you are a man. It's a pity, it was me that you met. After Ye Chen finally said two meaningful words, the red lotus from hell rising up into the sky and the elephant feet trampled down by the clouds collided. Boom. Huge energy burst out instantly. The energy ripples and spreads rapidly. There was even a storm of energy. Wherever the storm passed, huge waves were raised on the sea. Many small ships were directly overturned by the energy storm. At this moment, people dare not watch the excitement on the boat anymore. There is no time to watch the excitement now, it's important to escape. And Malin Vander, this large island, even because it could not withstand the huge energy explosion, it began to shatter, disintegrate, and collapse. A super huge mushroom cloud, soaring into the sky. The whole world, completely changed color. A long time. The smoke of the explosion finally faded a bit. The dilapidated Marin Vando gradually appeared in front of people. People can vaguely see that Malin Vando is sinking. Marine headquarters, Malin Vando, has ceased to exist. Who's winning? It should be Ye Chen. Akainu is Ye Chen's opponent. Akainu is dead. I feel dead. Really? That's a shame. People are talking about this. This battle, I have to say, is really shocking. Moreover, it is still presented in front of everyone in the form of a national live broadcast. Even in remote small towns in the East China Sea, people can see this shocking scene in the world. At this moment, almost everyone in the world is in deep shock. People think that Akainu probably lost this battle. After all, Ye Chen is much better than him. However, the burly figure of Akainu walked out of the still burning fire. He was bruised and bruised. I won. Akainu said every word. Wow. People were shocked again. Akainu won. What is going on? Ye Chen, who is invincible, will lose. But you are dead too. Ye Chen's voice rang out. Then, Ye Chen's figure also appeared, except that his clothes were a little torn, he was unscathed. Is it worth it to trade your life for a victory, Akainu? Ye Chen spoke again. Worth it, Akainu said, and sat down slowly. Close your eyes. I will never open it again. Akainu, fallen. His wounds began to expand, his body began to shatter, and his whole person began to disintegrate. Finally, it turned into ashes and dissipated in the sea of fire. The cells are completely drained, and his life has come to an end. Is it? Maybe it's worth it. Ye Chen seemed to ask and answer himself, and shook his head slightly. Maybe not worth it, but for justice, it's worth it. This has always been the will of Akainu. Hehe, Lord Ye Chen, listen, what is he talking about? Before he died, he had to say that he had won, so funny. Han Galio was very puzzled about this and couldn't help but speak. Chapter 168. Shut up, Galio, Ye Chen said to Galio in such a severe tone for the first time. Ye Chen didn't feel that he had lost. After all, he just opened the 8th gate, and even Guy did not show the final secret Knight of 8 inner gates. Not to mention, he still has the strongest card of Ryūjin Jakka Bankai. But he did not refute Akainu's words. Akainu was able to use his own power to defeat the elephant foot he had just opened after opening the 8th gate. Is this a win? One Shixiang, but not Ye Chen. It's just that the price of this win is very tragic. That is death. Such death is worthy of respect. Oh. Galio was a little aggrieved, but of course he wanted to listen to Ye Chen's words and shut up obediently. The island seems to be sinking. Ulquiorra also rushed over. As for the pacifists they opposed, most of them were wiped out, and the other half were affected by the fierce battle between Ye Chen and Akainu, or died in the flames of the Red Lotus in hell, or died in the footsteps of elephants. Under. Then let's go. Ye Chen glanced at the collapsing and sinking island, and said. In this battle, a marine headquarters was destroyed, a marine Vander fell, and a marine admiral fell. Once again, people realized the power of Ye Chen. That unmatched power. After Ye Chen returned to the Pluto, accompanied by Ulquiorra and Galio, he naturally contacted Marco. Let the Whitebeard pirates follow their Pluto and leave together. As for the pursuit of the marine fleet that Marco was worried about, Ye Chen let him not worry. He expected that the Whitebeard pirates were protected by his Black Crow pirates, and Marine would not dare to pursue them. Sure enough, Marine did not pursue it. In this way, the Pluto led a dozen ships of the Whitebeard pirate group and left the waters of Marin Vander. Among them, there was also a small boat. Naturally, the Sunshine Miles of the protagonist group. On the main ship Marine. 5 elders is naturally unwilling to let it go. Although their initial goal has been achieved, that is to let Whitebeard fall to Malin Vando. But Ye Chen and his group suddenly jumped out and made trouble. Not only smashed 500 pacifists, but they also failed their plan to annihilate the entire Whitebeard pirate group. How can they be willing? Immediately, Yamanaka will give orders to the fire beside them. Fire Yamanaka, I order you to lead all the elites in Marine headquarters to pursue the Black Crow pirates and the Whitebeard pirates. Be sure to destroy them all. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. No way, before, they would directly give Akainu orders. But now, Akainu, admiral, has fallen. In the Marine headquarters, several lieutenants in Huo Shaoshan were able to get along with them. Yes, Huo Shaoshan immediately led the way. However, it was stopped by Sengoku. Sengoku is the Marine headquarters marshal. Without my order, who would dare to send out warships to encircle the pirates? Sengoku furiously said. Garp and Suru were also very surprised when they saw this. In front of 5 elders, Sengoku finally got tough. But the marshal, as the righteous Marine, are we going to let these pirates get away with it? Huo Shaoshan expressed dissatisfaction with this. We Marine, of course, will not let the pirates get away with it. It's just that Ye Chen's strength is so powerful, don't you understand it through this battle? Akainu died in battle, isn't it enough to prove how powerful Ye Chen is? We send a fleet to chase now, that's just to die. Sengoku's words were both prestigious and immediately suppressed Huo Shaoshan and other dissatisfied lieutenants. They thought about it carefully, and felt that their marshal's words were right. Ye Chen's strength is scary enough, let alone the entire Black Crow pirate group. They are now sending a fleet to chase the Black Crow pirates, are they going to die? 5 elders knew this well, but they didn't care much about it when they were dazzled by anger. In order to save face, they don't mind how many Marine elites will die in vain. Sengoku, in that case, you are going to disobey our 5 elders. You can think about it clearly for us, what will be the consequences of disobeying our 5 elders? As the Marine headquarters Marshal Sengoku did not personally give orders, 5 elders also had no choice but to threaten immediately. 0 find flowers 0. You can't threaten me. Sengoku snorted coldly. Because after today, lousy, the Marine headquarters Marshal, quit. Quit it. This sentence, like a bolt from a blue sky, fell in the ears of everyone around him. People are all stunned. Marshal Sengoku quit. Did they hear me right? Especially 5 elders, they never expected that their threat would backfire, and they even lost a very good Marine headquarters Marshal. Seeing 5 elders' slumped faces, Sengoku was amused. It turns out that 5 elders is so cool. You know it's so cool, he did it a long time ago. At the scene, the only Garp who was not shocked could only sigh helplessly. He was also the only one who understood Sengoku at the scene. It seems that what 5 elders did, and the fall of Akainu, gave Sengoku some blows. He has no intention of continuing to do it. Here, because of Sengoku's prevention, 5 elders failed to succeed, naturally there would be no Marine fleet chasing the Black Crow pirates and the Whitebeard pirates. As for the powerful pirate groups who wanted to take advantage of the Whitebeard pirate group's vitality to be seriously injured, they would take their place. Seeing that the Whitebeard pirate group was protected by the Black Crow pirate group, they were scared and stupid. Take advantage of the danger. Therefore, it was very calm along the way. After escorting the Whitebeard pirates to a safe place, Ye Chen ordered the Hades to stop. After that, the 3 captains and important members had a meeting. The reason for the tripartite nature is that the protagonist group is also included. Ye Chen, thank you very much for saving my good brother Ace. I toast you a drink, cheers. Luffy held up his beer and toasted Ye Chen in all sizes. He is really happy today. Because his good brother Ace survived after being publicly executed by Marine headquarters. So far, no pirate has survived public executions. Ace is definitely the first person ever. The credit for all this, of course, should be attributed to Ye Chen. Force. Chapter 169. Partner news. Ace was bandaged all over, but he still expressed his gratitude. The Whitebeard pirate group has already belonged to the Black Crow pirate group. It is natural for him to call Ye Chen the captain, but the first time he called it was a bit strange. Ye Chen, I will toast you too. Thank you for saving Cocosia Village a long time ago. Nami, the little thief cat, took the opportunity to come forward and also toast Ye Chen and rub his arm against Ye Chen. The Sanji at the back of the look expressed that he wanted to beat someone. Ye Chen naturally did not refuse. I have to say that Nami, who is wearing cool clothes at the moment, is really beautiful. Although Aceeds is better in terms of appearance, but in terms of body, especially OP, it is naturally Nami who wins. I toast you too. Robin also took the opportunity to be diligent, and even this ice beauty cast an eyebrow like Ye Chen. It seems that she has been obsessed with Ye Chen since the 27th Alabaston incident. Just when Ye Chen fell into the tender country, his heart suddenly felt alive and beat. How did he feel it? A strong jealousy. It seemed that someone who was hunting down the Blackbeard pirates was jealous. No way, sometimes it's not a good thing to be connected with one another. Ye Chen smiled bitterly. Captain Ye Chen, thank you for saving the lives of all the brothers and sisters of the Whitebeard pirates. Marco also spoke. The captains such as Diamond Joe's and Foil Vista also cast grateful eyes on Ye Chen and expressed their gratitude. It's just that, unlike the protagonist group's optimism and cheerfulness, the atmosphere of all of them seems very dull. I don't drink alcohol, and I don't participate in all kinds of excitement. Obviously, the death of old Father Whitebeard caused them great pain. And this huge pain needs time to smooth out. Next, what are your plans? Ye Chen asked. I want to pursue my father's legacy and become the guardian of all rookies and pirates. There was a moment of silence, and Ace spoke. Ye Chen saved his life, but it can also be said that it was given by his father Whitebeard. If Whitebeard didn't start a war on top, he would have already been executed. Can't wait for Ye Chen to come and rescue him. Yes, we, the Whitebeard pirates, will inherit the legacy of our father and carry forward the Whitebeard pirates. Marco then spoke. Now that Ye Chen has agreed, he will give the Whitebeard pirates the right of independence and will not interfere with the development of the Whitebeard pirates. They naturally have to carry forward the Whitebeard pirates according to their father's will. Let the Whitebeard pirate group become a safe haven for all newcomer pirates. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Okay. In this regard, Ye Chen is noncommittal. In this world where the weak and the strong eat the strong, you can still remember your original intentions. I am afraid that only the original Whitebeard and the current Whitebeard pirates are. Although, to become a haven for newcomers and pirates is extremely ridiculous in Ye Chen's view. But Ye Chen will not attack them because of this. The reality is so cruel, why not let people have beautiful fantasy? If you are deprived of even beautiful fantasies, then the world is really not worth it. My plan is to become one piece. Just when the Whitebeard pirates were meditating on their next plan, a clear and loud voice rang. Of course, our protagonist, Luffy Kid. No one asks you. Very consistent, Luffy's words were met with unanimous complaints from his companions. Ahahaha, you didn't ask me. Luffy touched the back of his head and said with a silly smile. Who said I was not asking you? One Piece, right, I am optimistic about you. Ye Chen spoke. It is estimated that no one is optimistic about Luffy, but Ye Chen knows Luffy's potential. Therefore, he is very optimistic about Luffy. Clam. Hearing Ye Chen's words, everyone on the ship was a little big-eyed. Unexpectedly, Tang Ye Chen, who is known as the person who replaced Whitebeard and became the most powerful man in the world, would be so optimistic about the kid Luffy. Ha 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 ha, I think so too. Luffy was not at all polite and laughed. Come on, cheers. The war on the top is over, let us live for us, cheers. Luffy raised his glass again and toasted everyone. Marco and the others, who had always been quite dull, were also infected by Luffy's optimism and cheerfulness at this moment, and their mood slightly improved. Ye Chen saw it and had to admire it. Luffy deserves to be the protagonist in the original book. 0. Sure enough, he has the aura of the protagonist that can infect others under any circumstances. Ha ha ha, do you want to drink? If you want to drink, how can you lose me? At this moment, a hearty voice suddenly rang. Who? Everyone was taken aback. In this vast sea, there are no other ships approaching, so how can there be other people's voices? When everyone looked back, they were shocked to find that a silver-haired old man, who didn't know what method he used, had stepped into the air. Rayleigh, here you are. In this regard, Ye Chen seems to have known it a long time ago, which is not strange at all. It seems that you have already noticed that I'm here. Rayleigh glanced at Ye Chen and continued. Well, Ye Chen, you sunk the entire Marine headquarters, Malin Vander. Don't you think your incident was a bit too big this time? It turned out that earlier, after seeing Ye Chen appearing in Malin Vando in front of the TV, Rayleigh knew that this top war might not be that simple. Immediately, he left his wife, Sha-Chi, and hurried to Marine headquarters, Marine Vatican. Unfortunately, when he arrived, he was already a step late. After he arrived at the scene, he only saw the shocking scene of the sinking of Malin Vander. After staying for a while, he quickly turned on observation Haki, looking for clues. After a long journey, he finally caught up with Ye Chen and the others. It can be seen how shocking Rayleigh is. If you don't come to talk to Ye Chen in person, you will feel uneasy. Indeed, after this incident, the pattern of the entire world is expected to undergo tremendous changes. This world is going to be shuffled again. You are not the one who saved our life in the Chambord Islands, old man. Luffy was shocked when he saw Rayleigh. Half a month ago, after the Chambord Islands incident, Kizaru still went on a mission to teach the Supernova a lesson. Among them, the protagonist group was rescued by Rayleigh. Otherwise, it is estimated that Kizaru will teach you a miserable lesson. It's you, the Straw Hat Boy. Rayleigh didn't mind Luffy calling himself old man, and greeted him kindly. Chapter 170. After that, with the participation of Rayleigh, the banquet was even happier. Even Marco and the others, who were immersed in the great grief of losing their father, couldn't help but quit after a few drinks. After that, Ye Chen, Rayleigh, and the protagonist group naturally drank until dawn and got drunk. Of course, the drunk is the protagonist group. As for Ye Chen and Rayleigh, they are a bit drunk at best. In this regard, Rayleigh had to admire Ye Chen's drinking capacity. He, an old alcoholic for decades, almost never drank him. It is undoubtedly more convenient to talk about some things after being slightly boiled. Rayleigh asked with Jujin. Ye Chen made the matter so big and broke the pattern of the whole world. How do you plan to clean up in the future? You know, whether it's destroying 500 pacifists, or sinking Marine headquarters, Malin Vander, or protecting the Whitebeard pirates from leaving unharmed. Which matter will not let the world government take action against Ye Chen? What's next? I'll talk about it in the future. Ye Chen is open-minded, and he responded calmly to 09 Rayleigh. Go to war with the world government, then go to war. Now he is not afraid at all. Oh, it really is you, Ye Chen. Ye Chen is not afraid to start with the world government, so what can Rayleigh say? Besides, he has inherited the will of Captain Roger D. He has long been expecting someone to overthrow the world government. And now this person has appeared, that is, Ye Chen. By the way, Rayleigh, I have something to ask you. Ye Chen said suddenly. Oh, Rayleigh was very puzzled. Tang Ye Chen, there is something to ask him. This old man, this is simply a great anecdote. As you know, I am a loose-minded person, and I can't teach others, and I am not suitable for being a good master. And there is a good seedling here. It would be a shame if he missed the opportunity to grow up in vain. Ye Chen continued. You mean Kid Luffy? Rayleigh heard the words and immediately knew what Ye Chen wanted to say. Yes, Luffy, this kid, has huge potential that he didn't even realize. If you want to develop his huge potential, you can't just rely on being a pirate. He needs a famous teacher to guide him, and I think this in the world, Rayleigh, only you have this qualification. Ye Chen didn't mean anything but said the truth. In the original book, the war at the top was very tragic. Not only did Whitebeard fall, but even Ace was killed by Akainu. The Straw Hat Pirates also suffered a huge blow. Rayleigh couldn't stand it, and just now became Luffy's mentor, guiding him to practice Conqueror's Haki. And now, because Ye Chen shot, everything has changed. Ace was not dead, and the Straw Hat Pirates did not lose much. In this way, with Rayleigh's character, he would naturally not be nosy. But in this way, Luffy's growth might not be stagnant. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. There is also a group of Straw Hat Pirates, who are not sent to the corresponding place by Bartholomew Kuma to practice as in the original work. As a result, it is almost impossible for the Straw Hat Pirates to grow up. And the culprit of all this, in the final analysis, is Ye Chen. To this, guilty. It is naturally impossible to feel guilty. But Ye Chen didn't want the Straw Hat Pirates, so they couldn't grow up. He even felt that the more he reached the later stage, the more difficult it was for him to find a well-matched opponent. Luffy is equivalent to a rival he made for himself in advance. After avoiding it, he will really be bored to death after he solves the world government. It is precisely because of this strange reason that Ye Chen begged others for the first time. Ye Chen wants Rayleigh to become the mentor of all the Straw Hat Pirates, and to hone their team. Regarding this, Rayleigh was silent for a while. But soon, he agreed. Since it's your request, the old man can't shirk it naturally. But, I promised your request without a price. Your precious brew is very good. I want 100,000 bottles. A big bottle. No problem. Ye Chen naturally agreed very readily. In fact, these wines were brewed by Ye Chen when he was bored. Of course, it was not by himself, but by letting his subordinates brew according to his ancient secret recipe. In the world of pirates, how can you do without wine? Therefore, Ye Chen applied the winemaking techniques he learned in China in his previous life. As far as the brewing technology is strong, it is naturally China. Therefore, the taste of Ye Chen's wine brewed with ancient secret recipes is naturally not comparable to wines in this world. After Rayleigh drank it, he couldn't forget it naturally. Because this condition is justified. 100,000 bottles of wine, a little too much. But Ye Chen doesn't need to do it himself anyway, and he now has a lot of trash fish crew members. When expanding the site, he included the pirate group and the Red Heart pirate group last time. These trash pirates, let them learn how to make wine. Okay, it was so decided. In an instant, Ye Chen felt that he was quite business savvy. You must know what the pirates need most besides food and water at sea. Isn't it just wine? If it weren't for Ye Chen's hegemony route, but a commercial route. Selling wine in this world is definitely a way to make money. Early the next morning, after everyone soaked up, it was naturally time to partake. Before leaving, Nami and Robin, two beauties, reluctantly said goodbye to Ye Chen. He was so angry that he almost offered to fight Ye Chen. Fortunately, it was caught by Zoro. In fact, in addition to Nami and Robin, there is also a beautiful woman who is also looking at Ye Chen with affection. That's right, it is the beauty of kimono, Yizang. Ye Chen felt a little uncomfortable just thinking of Yizang's special identity. Cough. It seems that being too popular may not be a good thing sometimes. Rayleigh agreed to Ye Chen, and when he left, he naturally took the boat of the Straw Hat Pirates. After everyone dispersed, everything returned to the usual normal days. Even more deserted and lonely than before. People like to be lively, and suddenly quiet down. Doflamingo, Luo and others all expressed their discomfort. Fortunately, at this time, our Ice Queen Acedes rushed back. Blackbeard and his party, naturally they ran away. Of course, if Acedes really didn't intend to let them go, they fled to the end of the world. Kakuzu did not. It's just that a seed suddenly felt something in his heart. There are two bad women who are robbing Ye Chen from her. Chapter 171. Immediately, Acides no longer insisted on chasing Blackbeard and his party, but changed his mind and hurried back to the Hades. Although the Pluto is wandering in the sea, because Acides has Ye Chen's life card on her body, there is no fear of not being able to find the Pluto. Following the guidance of the life card, she returned to the Hades smoothly. The pursuit of Blackbeard, therefore, also came to an end. However, after being chased by Acides all the way, it is estimated that in the future Blackbeard and his party will have a psychological shadow, and they dare not mess around. It is estimated that in the future, hearing the name of the Black Crow Pirates will have to detour. The matter of the top war, so far, can be regarded as an end. In the end, the only thing Ye Chen missed was probably the Whitebeard pirates' turf. When the war at the top broke out, not only did he have the idea to fight the Whitebeard pirates, but the Ant pirates and Beasts pirates were also coveting the Whitebeard pirates. Among the 5 emperors, the red-haired Shanks is more moral, but he hasn't really moved his heart with the Whitebeard pirates. Of course, Ye Chen does not need to worry about this. Because Ye Chen knew that Shanks would definitely prevent Beasts pirates and Ant pirates from taking the opportunity to encroach on the Whitebeard pirates. The fact is also true. For this reason, the 3 great pirates almost broke out in war. In the end, the 3 parties were deadlocked together. No one dared to do it first, but no one planned to leave first. Especially after hearing the news from the front that after the death of Whitebeard, 5 elders dispatched an army of pacifists, which seemed to be the demon to kill the Whitebeard pirates. As a result, the Ant and Kaido, who originally planned to sell Shanks to a face, are determined to annex a piece of the Whitebeard pirate group no matter what. Otherwise, if they were all swallowed by Ye Chen, wouldn't they lose a lot? In this way, the 3 parties remained deadlocked for a long time. Until the end, a message came from the front. That is, the war on the top is over. Ye Chen and his party suddenly came to Malin Vando and completely changed the situation. The Whitebeard pirate group was not driven to extinction, but under the protection of the Black Crow pirate group, it escaped from the battlefield with a very small loss. Afterwards, the Whitebeard pirates also kept their promise and became part of the Black Crow pirates, becoming a pirate group under the Black Crow pirates. After hearing the news, Auntie and Kaido were shocked. The Whitebeard pirates belong to the Black Crow pirates. Did they hear me right? In this way, wouldn't the chassis of the Whitebeard pirates group become the territory of the Black Crow pirates group? Even if they had the courage, they would not dare to encroach on the territory of the Black Crow pirates. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Auntie and Kaido had to admire Ye Chen's ingenuity and direct inclusion of the Whitebeard pirates. Why didn't they think of it? Incorporating the Whitebeard pirate group, isn't their territory all theirs? Why bother to run into this vast ocean? The 3 parties confronted each other, and even almost fought, creating a world war. Of course, they just thought about it this way. They knew in their hearts that it would be easier said than done to include the arrogant Whitebeard pirates. I don't know what Ye Chen used to successfully incorporate the Whitebeard pirates. If it were them, it is estimated that the Whitebeard pirates would rather die than surrender. In this regard, the red-haired Shanks is also lost in thought. The white-haired pirate group, Marco, Joes, Beasta and other captains, which one is not the arrogant generation, can they easily be incorporated? But thinking that this person is Ye Chen, Shanks takes it for granted. This is also good, at least, after losing the pillar of the old father Whitebeard, the white-haired pirates have the shelter of the Black Crow pirates, so there is no need to worry about revenge, and there is no need to live the days of hiding in Tibet and precarious weather. In Shanks's view, it is a good thing for the Whitebeard pirates to be attached to the Black Crow pirates. The man who made him worry about the whole world all day, also had less worry. Since the site of the Whitebeard pirate group has become the site of Ye Chen, Auntie and Kaido naturally dare not get involved. Immediately, the 2 sides had a tacit understanding and retreated dingy. Red Hair pirates only left after confirming that the 2 parties really left. It can be regarded as a close friend, Whitebeard, with the last thought. He had a foreboding about the fall of Whitebeard. At this moment, in addition to a lot of emotion, there is no particular sadness. In the following weeks, the Black Crow Pirates group returned to its former calm. Idle and boring, coupled with lessons learned, Ye Chen held another event or 2 during this period of time. The following activities are naturally no longer limited to the participation of the main members of the Black Crow Pirates, all members can participate. As for the rewards, they are also quite rich. There are all kinds of gold and silver jewelry, famous knives, and unique skills. Just to get rewards, it must come up with some strength. Because of this, the Black Crow Pirates group went up and down, and there were tens of thousands of members, including members of the subordinate pirate group, all of them were full of energy. No matter how hard and tired you are, you will take time to practice hard. No way, who makes the rewards for each event really tempting? Ye Chen's holding of activities is equivalent to a disguised form, inspiring all members to become stronger. I have to say that it can be considered a very practical way. It's just that, behind this calm, few people know that a storm is brewing. World Government. Senior Meeting Room. At this moment, the 5 elders gathered together. In addition to that, there was also Gangji Yukong, the commander of the armed forces. In addition, in a room next to the high-level conference room, there are two other guys, waiting for orders at any time. They are absolutely prohibited from entering the headquarters of the world government in normal times. Yes, that's right, they are the Aunt Charlotte Linlin, It's Gone, and Kaido, the Beast. At this moment, in the high-level conference room, Gengu Kong was arguing with 5 elders. The reason why he appeared here is naturally because of the sudden resignation of Sengoku. In this regard, Gengu Kong was very dissatisfied. He knew that the reason why Sengoku resolutely resigned from the position of Marine Headquarters Marshal must be inseparable from the 5 old guys, 5 elders. In this regard, 5 elders didn't care at all. Sengoku will no longer obey their orders. Even if Sengoku does not voluntarily resign, they will use their rights sooner or later and be impeached. This is just a matter of time. As for who will take over the position of the next Marine Headquarters Marshal, after some discussions, they decided to let Aokiji take over. Although Kizaru is older than Aokiji and not inferior to him in strength, he is too sloppy and carefree, and is really not suitable for the Marine Headquarters Marshal. Chapter 172. Regarding 5 elders' election of Aokiji as Marine Headquarters Marshal, Gengu Kong has no objection. As long as they don't recommend Marine Lieutenant General, who is standing with them on Huo Shaoshan, they will be the Marine Headquarters Marshal. After all, the Marine Headquarters Marshal is not a cat or dog. After discussing who will be the Marshal of the new Marine Headquarters, Gengu Kong thought that 5 elders proposed to rebuild the Marine Headquarters. After all, the old Marine Headquarters, Marine Vander, has completely sunk under the sea, and a new Marine Headquarters must be established. As for the location, Gengu Kong felt that it would be more appropriate to choose New World in the second half of the Grand Line. In addition to rebuilding the Marine Headquarters, Gengu Kong also proposed to start the world conscription. After all, this time Marine went to war and lost not only Admiral, a member of Akainu, but also many Marine elites. If you want to quickly restore the strength of the Marine Headquarters, you have to start the world conscription. In this regard, 5 elders naturally shied away, and this matter will be discussed later. They will shirk. This is what Gengu Kong had expected long ago. After all, to start the world conscription, it is not that you send out a flyer, and people will enthusiastically sign up for Marine. Without the temptation of huge fame and fortune, it is impossible to attract those hidden powerhouses. In other words, it takes a lot of money to start the world conscription. When it comes to money, the 5 old things, 5 elders, are not so easy to let go. I'll talk about this in the future. Steel bones are empty. You can go back to the headquarters of the armed forces and wait for the news. Broadsword 5 elders opened the mouth. Yes, after we solve this matter, let alone start the world conscription, even if we allocate a huge amount of money to rebuild the new Marine Headquarters, it will be fine. The blonde 5 elders also promised. In this regard, Gengu Kong could only sigh. Who doesn't know? What they said was just an evasive statement. Who knows what excuses they will find after they work with the ant pirates and beasts pirates to deal with Ye Chen. But in this regard, there is no way for the steel to be empty. After all, the senior officials crush people to death. In the world government, the right to talk has never been in his hands. Gengu Kong hasn't left yet, but outside the door already thinks of the impatient voice of Aunt Charlotte Linlin. I said, is there any sincerity in the world government's approach to our cooperation? What, if you call us over to the world government headquarters, it keeps letting us sit on the bench? Aunt said yin and yang weirdly. No, after all, the world government is so powerful, how can we put our little pirates in our eyes? Kaido also said, read more at hotmtl novel.zi. The 2 sea emperors, obviously, were already impatiently waiting. 5 elders heard the words, but did not answer, but used his eyes to signal Gengu Kong to leave quickly. The next thing, nothing happened to him. Gengu Kong didn't linger anymore, opened the door of the room, and left straight away. It just so happened that I opened the door and saw the ant and Kaido, who had an extremely perverse attitude. Humph. Gengu Kong couldn't help letting out a cold snort. The world government unexpectedly found 2 vicious pirates to join forces. This kind of thing is really irritating, so don't stay here. After Gangbone left, the blonde 5 elders spoke first. Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, we never come to the world government when we call you. I think you already know what's going on. Well, of course, as long as Ye Chen and the Black Crow Pirates are defeated, then the territory of the Black Crow Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates can be divided by us. Such a good thing, how can I miss my aunt? Well. The ant let out a weird laugh, and said first. As long as Ye Chen is defeated, Laozi is naturally willing to join forces. Of course, Laozi wants all the sites of the Black Crow Pirates and the Black Crow Pirates. Kaido said calmly. There was a raging fire in his eyes. It can be seen how dissatisfied he was when he was defeated by Ye Chen. He felt that Ye Chen made him lose face in front of people all over the world, and undermined his majesty as the Emperor of the Sea. Even made him the laughingstock of all the pirates in New World. But if you want to redeem all of this, you can only completely defeat Ye Chen. Yes, completely defeated. And to completely defeat Ye Chen, that is, to kill Ye Chen, his strength alone is not enough. But if you can join forces with the world government and another Sea Emperor and Aunt Charlotte Linlin, that's not necessarily the case. Of course, as long as you can beat Ye Chen, the sight or something, everything is easy to say. White-haired five elders said with a smile. But in his heart, he had already greeted the whole family of Charlotte Linlin and Kaido. These two guys are really too greedy, and they want to divide up all the territory of the Black Crow pirates. It's really a lion's mouth. Really, the world government, improvised by the three parties to join forces to deal with Ye Chen together, is it not trying to return anything? Of course, if these are not conducive to cooperation, the old foxes like five elders will naturally not pick it out now. When Ye Chen is resolved smoothly, they still have the final say on what to do at that time. Forgive my Aunt Charlotte Linlin and Kaido, I dare not do anything to them. No matter how rampant they are, do they still dare to confront the entire world government? If Ye Chen wants to confront the world government, they believe it. As for the ant pirates and beasts pirates, hey, they really don't care about it. If they dared to confront the world government, they would have confronted it a long time ago. Why not just be willing to be the emperor of the sea in a small area, and rob the territory with many pirate forces in New World? As for the world government, the reason why they did not move them was not because they were afraid of them. It is out of New World's balance. If there is no four emperors, the strength of the great pirates will be constrained, and they will check and balance each other. The world government, every day, I am afraid that it is not just dealing with New World things. There is no time to rule the world. It is precisely because the existence of the four emperors is necessary, so as long as it does not threaten the dominance of the world government will keep one eye open and one eye closed. And Ye Chen, it is precisely because of threatening the dominance of the world government that five elders will desperately, even teaming up with the pirates, all want to wipe out Ye Chen. Is five elders really reckless? Because Ye Chen angered them, they wanted Ye Chen to kill Ye Chen. Of course not. They can sit in the position of five elders, which proves that each of them is old enough to be cunning. The facts have proved that they are correct in their eagerness to wipe out Ye Chen. Because of the existence of Ye Chen, the dominance of the world government has been shaken. After that, the three parties discussed the details of how to join forces. Chapter 173. Including, who is responsible for the frontal attack on the Black Crow pirates, who is responsible for dealing with Ye Chen's right-hand men, who is responsible for dealing with Ye Chen and so on. There are detailed arrangements for all this. Half a day later, the Ant and Kaido just walked out of the high-level meeting room of the world government. It can be seen from the satisfaction of their hearts that they are very satisfied with this time. The three parties have joined forces to encircle and suppress Ye Chen. Now, they just have to wait for a chance. When the Black Crow pirates leave their territory, then the three of them can quickly join forces to attack the Black Crow pirates together. As for why you have to wait for the Black Crow pirates to leave the site, it is naturally because the power of the Black Crow pirates is too strong now. Its forces include the Whitebeard pirates group, the Don Quixote family for the medium ones, and the Heart pirates for the small ones. If even the pirate groups of the Black Crow pirate group had to deal with them together, the three parties alone would probably not be enough. At least, the world government's navy, land and air forces need to be dispatched right. And the right to dispatch the armed forces of the sea, land and air, control the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. With Gangukong's stubborn temper, it might not be easy for him to dispatch the three armies. Besides, if the three armies are really dispatched, it will really trigger a world war. Five elders didn't want to destroy Ye Chen and lead to the outbreak of a world war, ruining the illusion of peace they had deliberately created over the past 800 years. At that time, I am afraid that it is not the Lord Yim behind them that will not let them go. This is something five elders would never want to see. So you don't need to send out the three armies, just wait for the Black Crow pirates, the Pluto, to leave their territory, and when they are placed, they can join forces to encircle and suppress the Black Crow pirates. They didn't believe that with their tripartite joint efforts, they would not be able to win a mere Black Crow pirate group. You know, if the Black Crow pirate group is not counted as its power, all members add up to 20 or 30 people. Important members, including Ye Chen, are only 6. Others are trash fish responsible for sailing and logistics. There are 6 people in a mere 3 parties, and they are sure to win. Five elders was also very happy to see Auntie and Kaido leave contentedly. Everything is ready now, then, just wait. On the Black Crow pirates side, Ye Chen has been busy holding events recently, so naturally there is no time to run around. In addition, the system did not release the next sign in task, and Ye Chen had no reason to run around. In idleness, Ye Chen will also look at the newspapers dropped by Newsbird and pay attention to the latest news. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As expected by Ye Chen, the news of such a big war made it lively for a while. Soon, it was used by the world government and suppressed. It was only a few weeks before the incident was no longer reported in the newspapers. Another big news is that Sengoku has resigned from the position of Marine Headquarters Marshal. The new Marine Headquarters Marshal will be taken by the former Marine Admiral Aokiji. Ye Chen is somewhat interested in this news. You know, in the original book, Akainu did not die in the war when he was on top of the war. On the contrary, he and Aokiji had a duel in Punk Hassad in order to compete for the position of Marine Headquarters Marshal. In the end, Akainu won and got his wish as the Marine Headquarters Marshal. Aokiji, who was defeated, also paid the price of a leg. Angrily, He left the Marine headquarters in anger. Of course, these are all rumors, and the degree of credibility is unknown. And because of Ye Chen's participation, great changes have taken place in the top war. Akainu died in the battle, and Aokiji got his wish as the Marine headquarters marshal. That being said, Aokiji has to thank Ye Chen. The rest of the news is about the new Marine headquarters, when it will be rebuilt, and where it will be rebuilt in New World. Of these, Ye Chen naturally has a bottom line in his heart. He even knew that after the establishment of the new Marine headquarters, Marine will come to a world conscription in order to recover its vitality as soon as possible. Of course, he doesn't care much about these. Ye Chen now only cares about when the system will release a new sign in task. Just like that, several days passed. Finally, Ye Chen received a new sign in task released by the system. Ding! The new sign in task is released. Please go to the magic triangle as soon as possible and sign in for the horror bark. Sign in period. 7 days. 0 Find flowers 0. Hearing the task released by the system in his mind, Ye Chen was so excited that he immediately got energetic. This time, is it Gecko Moria's horrible 3-masted sailboat? If I remember correctly, Gecko Moria was killed by the protagonist group Luffy and his party before the war on the top. If this is the case, what happens when the system arranges me to sign in on the horror bark? It doesn't trigger the quest plot at all, just sign in and receive the reward. In this regard, Ye Chen does not think so. After all, according to past experience, every time the system issues a sign in task, a lot of things will always happen. For example, in the Cocosia Village, the dragon and pirates were wiped out. Another example is Sky Island, which killed the self-proclaimed god Ani Road. Even if the calm belt in the West Sea recently signed in, it was because the Sea Kings gathered and raged. Ye Chen therefore, we engaged in a hunting of Sea Kings, and almost failed to kill the Sea Kings in the calm belt. 0. This time, the system asked Ye Chen to sign in on the terror bark. Ye Chen always felt that it should not be that simple. As for Gecko Moria, Ye Chen did not follow him. After all, to the current Ye Chen, Gecko Moria is an incompetent pirate, how can he care about these little trash fish? All he knows is that Gecko Moria was not involved in the top war. In this way, Ye Chen has some expectations for the check into the terror bark this time. Since the deadline is only 7 days, it should not be too late. Ye Chen asked the crew on the Pluto to prepare enough food and water to start the voyage again. World Government Headquarters. A CP0 member found 5 elders in a panic. Are you sure there is nothing wrong with this message? The blonde 5 elders was very excited when he heard this. Of course, in the waters near the Black Crow Pirates site, many residents have witnessed the Hades going to sea. CP0 members said proudly. Opportunity is here. 5 elders, the 5 old men, all smiled tacitly. Come on, inform the anti-pirates and beasts pirates, get ready as soon as possible, the encirclement and suppression of Ye Chen will come. Yes, Lee. Chapter 174. The Magic Triangle Sea Area. The fog is permeated. A huge ship appeared on the sea, looming, like a ghost ship. On the flagpole at the bow, a pirate flag fluttered in the wind. On this brand new pirate flag, in addition to the iconic skull, there is also a dark night crow resting on the skull. It seems that it gives people a sense of invisibility and terror. Yes, that's right, this is New World, the Night Raven pirates that makes all the pirates scared. On the Pluto, Master Captain, this place is too weird, right? Han Galio, looking at the mist in front of him, couldn't help but speak. It's really weird, but it doesn't matter, as long as you navigate in the direction specified by the recording compass, you won't go wrong. Ye Chen replied lightly. In this regard, he is not at all worried. The Devil's Triangle is indeed mysterious, and it corresponds to the Devil's Delta in the real world. But who is Ye Chen? He is a traverser, not to mention that he is familiar with the plot of the pirates. Even if he knows nothing about the plot of the pirates, with his current strength, there is nothing to be afraid of. In this world, there is no place he dare not go to yet. Gradually, the clouds faded. In front, the shadow of a large island appeared loomingly. Master Captain, look, there is an island in front of you. No, wait. Hi, this is not an island, this is a huge ship. Han Galio, speaking of this, took a breath. He was really a naive person. After he became bigger, his size was not much smaller than that of a large island, but he was surprised when he saw this giant ship. Aside Ulquiorra and Asides couldn't help but glance at them more. Although they didn't act as surprised as Galio, they still couldn't help showing a hint of surprise. As for the crew on the Pluto, they were stunned when they learned that this large island turned out to be a giant ship. This is too big. Got it. The audience is still not surprised, probably only Ye Chen. He had known for a long time that this was not an island, but a giant ship. Ye Chen looked calm and fell in the eyes of the crew. They admired the Master Captain even more. It seems that there is nothing in this world that can shock him. Rumble. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As the Pluto slowly approached the giant ship, people discovered how big the giant ship is. Even if it is the ancient weapon Pluto, its size is only a few tenths of the size of this giant ship. Yes, that's right, this is the horrible 3-masted sailboat known as the largest pirate ship in the world. Such a huge ship can really be built by a mere shichibukai. If it weren't for the plot, Ye Chen would not believe it. But the fact is, moreover, as far as Ye Chen knows, the reason why the Horror three-masted sailboat is so huge is actually not made up of one pirate ship, but made up of hundreds of pirate ships. The front door of the Horror three-masted sailing ship has a huge mouth designed to catch passing ships. Every year, at least 100 ships disappear in the Magic Triangle. These missing ships naturally became part of the terrorist three-masted sailing ship. It is precisely because of the special geographical environment of the Devil's Triangle that thousands of ships have been plundered to form the terrorist three-masted sailing ship. That is why the terrorist three-masted sailing ship is so huge. It seems that we have reached our destination. On the side, Doflamingo, who wears fancy sunglasses and doesn't know if he's dozing off, stretched his waist and spoke. He is different from outsiders like Galio. As Shichibukai, he naturally knows a lot about Gecko Moria. Therefore, it is not surprising to see such a huge terrifying three-masted sailing ship not shocked. Ye Chen, do we really want to drive in from here? I always have a bad feeling. Acedes frowned and said, for some reason, she vaguely always had an ominous premonition. This ominous premonition is very inexplicable. Obviously with her current strength, nothing can scare her anymore. But she still feels a little uneasy. Intuition tells her that this place is not easy. There is nothing to worry about, go ahead. Ye Chen cast a worry-free look at Acedes and said 0. It is worth mentioning that Ace Daisy no longer called him Master Captain, but directly called him by his name. Could it be that this is because of the life card? Ye Chen thought for a while. It is estimated that there is only such an explanation. Because the life card allows the two to communicate with each other, Ye Chen knows very well what Acedes has for him. Wow. The Hades broke through the waves and headed towards the huge mouth of the terrifying three-masted sailing ship. Horror bark, interior. Inside a huge palace-like building. Gecko Moria and the three weirdos gathered together and were discussing something. My dear master, there is another sheep in the mouth. A zombie servant whose body was half rotten, respectfully spoke to Gecko Moria who was sitting on the master seat. In the middle of the lobby, sitting on the main seat, the figure is bloated, but the neck and head are very slender. He looks like a guy from scratch. It is one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Gecko Moria. The 3 people sitting next to him were 3 weirdos. Hakubik, known as a genius surgeon, Abu Sarum, the lion man with the ability to transparent fruit, and the cute loli with smoky makeup, who is always holding an umbrella, and is known as the wearer of Princess Mononoke. Rona. If Ye Chen saw this scene, he would be surprised. According to the plot of the original book, shouldn't Gecko Moria and the group have been defeated by the passing protagonist group Luffy and his group at this time? So, how can they be on the terrifying three-masted sailing ship again? This is obviously unscientific. Hehehehe, some sheep have entered the tiger's mouth again. I don't know, who is the hapless person who fell into the ghost gate this time? Gecko Moria smiled happily when he heard the words. Moreover, Master, the ship that broke into the Gimmon Gate this time is not a small and medium pirate ship, but a large pirate ship. In order to please his master, the zombie servant spoke again. Large pirate ship. Gecko Moria was even more happy when he heard the words. Greedy light appeared in his eyes. Did you detect which pirate group this pirate ship belongs to? Absalom asked. Chapter 175. Partner news. As the commander of a zombie soldier and a zombie general, Abu Sarum was keenly aware of the problem. Of course, Master Abu Sarum. I heard from the conversations of the crew on the ship that they seemed to say that they were called the Pirates of the Ravens, the Night Crows. Oh yes, the Pirates of the Crows. The zombie servant patted his head hard and said. Almost took a picture of his long rotten head. What? Gecko Moria and the 3 strangers screamed in unison. What? The zombie servant was taken aback, and he didn't understand why the master and the 3 strangers had such a big reaction when they heard the Pirates of Black Crow. How come the Black Crow pirates came to Laozi's sight? Damn it. When Gecko Moria thought of Ye Chen, his face paled in shock. This princess doesn't want to fight Ye Chen. Perona's cute little face was full of horror. Master Moria, what should we do? Or, let's run away from the horror bark 09. Little life matters. As a genius surgeon, Hakubik knows the importance of life best. If all the lives are lost, then everything is meaningless. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be the Black Crow Pirates group. I thought that another large pirate ship could be harvested as trophies. Now it seems that there is no trophies, but it is a disaster. As the commander, Absalom couldn't help but said, his voice even trembled slightly. When the zombie servant heard this, he was even more confused. Abu Sarum, but the commander of tens of thousands of zombie soldiers and hundreds of zombie generals, is very combative. He was not very excited when a pirate ship broke into the Ghost Gate that time. Wished to immediately lead tens of thousands of zombie soldiers to destroy them. Why did you get scared before starting a war this time? The zombie servant at this moment, in his small head, has a big question. How could it be possible to leave behind the horrible 3-masted sailboat and escape? This is all Laozi's hard work for more than 10 years, how can it be possible to give up? When Gecko Moria heard this, he was naturally unwilling to give up the terrifying 3-masted sailboat and fled. Then what shall we do? Are we really going to fight the Black Crow pirates? He is Ye Chen. When I think of Ye Chen, in the top war, not only Marine Admiral Akainu, but also Marine Admiral Akainu, he sank Malin Vander with a punch, and Hogback's teeth were shaking. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Of course, this is an afterthought that people added gusto. But the facts are similar. In the end, Ye Chen really took Akainu with a single move, and he sank Marine Headquarters, Malin Vander. As for the front, at most it is a warm-up. Ye Chen and the Black Crow pirates are nothing terrible, they are just exaggerated by the outside world. Besides, this is the terrifying three-masted sailing ship, and this is the site of Laozi. Gecko Moria is still deceiving herself at this time. As long as the sun doesn't shine on this land, then our zombie soldiers are immortal. With so many zombie soldiers, why should we be afraid of a small Black Crow pirate group? Even if Ye Chen is better, can he solve the problem that one person can deal with tens of thousands of zombie soldiers? Even if the zombie soldiers are not his opponents, they can stand up again immediately after being knocked down, and continue to fight him. Furthermore, Hakuba and Absalom, have you forgotten that we still have the trump card of Oz? To embolden herself, Gecko Moria said a lot of things in one breath. Yes, we still have the trump card of Oz. Hogback and Absalom, who had been timid, heard the words, and felt that Gecko Moria's words made sense. No matter how strong Ye Chen is, there is only one person. Together with his important members, there are at most 6 or 7 people. On their side, there are tens of thousands of zombie soldiers who will not die as long as they are not exposed to sunlight. It can be said that this is their territory, and the right time and place are right on their side. In the outside world, they may not be able to beat Ye Chen and his party, but in their territory, everything is hard to say. On this land where the moonlight is always shining, they can display their extraordinary strengths. Master Moria said so, and I think it is feasible. Maybe, as long as we make a careful plan and come to an ambush, maybe we can really take the entire Black Crow Pirates group together with Ye Chen in one fell swoop. Absalom spoke again. It seems that he has regained his previous confidence. If this is the case, then our horrific three-masted sailing pirate group is really famous in the world. Just defeating Ye Chen is enough to make us among the Sea Emperors of New World, and even become the Sea Hegemon of New World. Quote. Hogback couldn't help getting excited. Yes, the overlord of the sea. Back then, the terrorist bark pirates lost to Beast's pirates. Except for Laozi, no one else survived. But who dares to deny that today, the terrible bark pirates, which have been trying for more than 10 years, cannot become the maritime hegemon above the Sea Emperor? Gecko Moria really gave herself to hypnosis, and the more she talked about it, the more excited she got. Oh, whatever, if something happens, this princess doesn't care. Regarding this, Perona could only sigh and said lightly. Of course, none of the 3 passionate men in the room listened to her. Abu Saram, you led the zombie soldiers to ambush the Pluto at the mouth of the 2 sides of the strait. Hogback, you led the zombie general to deal with Ye Chen and the important members of the Black Crow Pirates. Perona, you are responsible for using negative ghosts interfere with them. As for me, anyway, everything will be done by you, zombie soldiers and zombie generals. If you lose, I will naturally wake up the super zombie Oz for the first time and support you. Gecko Moria coughed, but in fact, he has to rely on others to help him develop habits. Let him personally lead the zombie soldiers against the Black Crow Pirates. Sorry, I am not interested in this. Just when Gecko Moria and the 3 monsters were discussing how to deal with Ye Chen and his party. The Pluto has successfully passed the huge mouth of the horror 3-masted sailing ship, which is the Ghost Gate, and entered the interior of the horrible 3-masted sailing ship. No, it's really a ship here. Seeing the situation inside, even Luo, the pirate supernova, couldn't help being dumbfounded. Sure enough, there are too many shocking places in the sea.